All right. So it's been a hot minute since we had the last game of B Team. So we missed a couple of weeks. Even I was talking to Don earlier about something, and even he was complaining about how he hadn't played anything for a long time. So apologies for that. But we are back with this. So the last time that we played was the what I'm loosely referring to as the Battle of Eresh, where you guys, had the Sar. So at the beginning of last time, you guys, hold on, uh, you guys talked with a creature known as a Trilith, who called itself Balance, and
Yeah, that was the only one of those things that we actually wanted to talk to.
yeah, but she was not having that. She was dying. Well, not so much dying as being
Sent back.
overwhelmed, sent back. Yeah, so her powers, essentially what she had done is she had come to this place and recognizing it as a place of strife, she exerted her influence over the entire area, which seemed to be working until the Sargavans, who are warlike and in a war and have warlike intentions, showed up, and she tried to extend her balance over them as well, and again succeeded for a little while, but ultimately it just grew to be too much for her. And as you guys came back from your,
And we were the
going,
tipping point.
yeah, you guys
We're like, we
in
showed
some
up.
case, in
Like,
some
okay,
part, were the tipping point. Um,
that's what we do.
and basically you emerged from her hut after she had sort of disappeared back to wherever Trilliths come from, and you found that the village had erupted in this incredibly chaotic and all-encompassing battle, which you guys were like, oh good, murder, and jumped right in to lend your abilities to the
We are
side
good at that.
of the villagers. Uh, to which with a fair amount of success. So there were several, more than two, I think close to four, fireball volleys on enemy locations,
Mm.
destroying mixed groups. Blessing of fervors were delivered so that people could use. So a lot of fireballs destroyed the Sargavan camp. Um, Wraith himself began picking off Sargavan commanders and Sargavan leaders, and those who were engaging directly in murdering the townspeople. And for their part, the townspeople were sort of rallying and took the fight to them. There was one notable instance where you saw several townspeople capture a Sargavan soldier and just tear him apart, and just murder him without any
We
without any
we prefer
compunction.
the term "bring to justice."
Bring to justice. It's Justice Day. Um, uh, Vondrum pulled out a scorching ray staff and started knocking some stuff out. At one point, Titus came up with I think it was Titus who came up with the volcanic storm that
Not me.
was it, maybe it was Poe? Somebody popped a, oh, it was Vondrum again, popped a volcanic storm and hurt the feelings of several Wyvern riders,
Hmm.
and bombed them out. And ultimately, defeated, in fact, in large part, exterminated the Sargavan presence in Eresh. Now you find yourselves,
Two left.
there's a couple left.
There's a Wyvern rider left, and I ran down one of the lieutenant type peoples.
Yeah, it was actually, well, it turns out it was one of the commanders. So,
Yeah.
and you were surprised to see when you ran him down that he wasn't human. He was a hobgoblin. Now he was wearing Sargavan uniform and commanding human Sargavan troops. So this is a new twist from your guys' point of view on what's been going on with the Sargavans. But yeah, you got one captured Wyvern Rider. I believe he's unconscious, and then the one captured lieutenant, the Hobgoblin lieutenant, which you guys have grabbed onto, and that's kind of where we start. Is the village is sort of recovering. You see a lot of people kind of standing around in a little bit of shell shock. Um, you know, uh, uh, some people are cleaning up bodies. Some people are exercising their rage on the dead. Some people are putting out burning buildings, of which there are several. There's a lot of chaos going on, but it's not the chaos of battle anymore.
I can't
You've
remember. Did we actually have a chance to interrogate these guys yet or no?
No, not yet. So
Okay.
that might be part of what we do today. And I'm assuming that it will be part of what we do today. So you guys do you grab up the lieutenant, the hobgoblin lieutenant, and you tie him up and you drag him into one of the open huts, and sort of set him
Oh,
across. Hold on.
wow.
Every time I do this, it screws up. I'm like, browse yourself. But yeah, you've stripped off his armor and weapons, tied him up, and basically popped him into one of the huts. And now he sits there staring at you, um, and waiting for I mean, you're not sure if he expects to be if he expects to be summarily
Oh,
executed.
if
He's
he's got
probably
any
heard
kind
of
of
you
sense, he
guys.
doesn't expect to be leaving here.
He's
So
probably wondering why only one of his legs is tied. But it's a mystery.
It
I lo
is.
I love AI imagery.
It doesn't look like
There's
it's
always some
tied to
weirdness going on.
anything. It's
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
bracelet.
we just wanted to
It's a
amputate that foot. And we
it's
wanted
a
to do
friendship rope from some of the other hobgoblins in
Right.
the unit.
friendship rope.
But yeah, so he's sitting there and he's just sort of staring at you in the idea of like, um, you
Oh,
know, I guess he's waiting to see what comes next. He seems pretty stoic about it. I mean, you guys have killed a great many Sargavans today, and with what I could only term as ruthless efficiency.
I'm pleased
Um,
as punch.
so yeah, he's just waiting there stoically, to see what comes next. So at this point I ask you, what comes next?
Well, first we send Ono out to help the
This boy
townsfolk
needs
clean
your
up
help.
town.
We got a lawful good teenager in here. We need to do something with him.
Well, I will say at some point I need a 2-hour nap so I can restore all my spells. Uh,
Understood. And so, I mean, obviously the villagers are, I mean, you're heroes to the village now. Obviously, you've helped them destroy the Sargavans. You've helped them in their time of need. You guys are on their good list.
So you're saying we're not buying too many of our own drinks now?
No such drinks as exist here. But yeah, no, I mean,
We're on the Christmas card list.
yeah, there's not there's I mean there's I mean you prob surely there will be plenty of opportunities for you to rest. I'm thinking.
Right. No, first things first. I don't care about the Wyvern Rider.
Okay.
Um,
Are
when
you
I get
just
back, when
when
I
you
drag this guy back to town and get back, I'll just tell them, yeah, you can turn them over to townsfolk for their trial.
Justice.
Yeah,
so
justice.
the Wyvern Rider or the Hobgoblin?
The Wyvern Rider. I don't think he knows much. I'm
Okay.
guessing.
Well, so the Wyvern Rider is very reminiscent of the Wyvern Riders that you've encountered before, in that
Yeah,
he's not wearing Sargavan uniform, he's
oh
wearing
yeah,
Chalaxian uniform. These
yeah.
guys are too. So you're guessing that this is either a
It's
det
all the same
yeah,
regiment. That's where they're getting all of them from.
yeah, they're probably getting them because frankly, wyverns are probably pretty rare down here. It's hard that it's your guess is that the Sargavans just simply didn't have the wherewithal to put together actual Wyvern Rider cadres, and they just imported them
They're
from
even
there.
more rare when we're around.
Yeah, all of you are from around here. You have guys, none of you had ever seen a Wyvern before, in these lands.
Not even the local zoo.
Not even at the local zoo. They just had two dumb pandas
The local.
and a snow leopard that slept all the time. Oh wait, that's the St. Louis Zoo.
That's the St. Louis one. Yeah.
I
Um. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Well, I'm a little confused. Are we still in combat?
No, you guys are not in
Oh.
combat. Combat is over, although some of the villagers are doing what could be euphemistically described as mopping up.
Okay. Um, Question for you though. I thought Ono had landed on a wyvern, knocked the wyvern rider out of this
Yes.
battle, and that Ono now was flying around on a wyvern. It
I think you landed that wyvern, or the wyvern landed itself. The guy you knocked out, I think, was killed.
okay,
I don't think he survived much longer after his rather abrupt landing. So the wyvern's still there,
okay,
and it might. And I think they also brought down one other. I'd have to look at. Hold on, let me look at the map again because I think let me take a quick look here at the wyvern, at the remnants of the wyvern. So yeah, I've got you on a wyvern. So I'm
yeah.
assuming you brought that wyvern down.
Well,
The wyvern rider, the other, actually, I think it's the wyvern rider that you kicked off
yeah.
that is only unconscious.
Right, yeah. I
The
don't
other
I
two, I
think
think, are dead.
I think he was in good shape before the fall, and the fall,
Knocked him out, but he's still
yeah,
alive.
yeah.
Well, my thought was, and I could be completely wrong. I thought was that at the start of our session tonight, I was going to have to do a handle
Ah,
animal
And the
to
animal, yep.
handle
I
my
think you absolutely should.
because I mean I just landed on a I just wind jumped onto
Okay.
a wyvern, kicked the pilot off
Hmm.
the wyvern. Now I'm aboard a wyvern, and so I assume it's sort of like a
Coming in.
horse.
Yeah, coming in for the final approach.
Yeah, actually, I'd kind of
So,
like to see where this handle animal goes.
Yeah,
all right.
Erendar's sad he's not going to be there to see the landing,
So
what
here we
happens
go.
afterwards.
Les, I'm gonna do my handle animal roll now.
Okay.
And I roll a 28.
Holy crap.
Wow. So Ono, in
That's
a
cool.
surprising turn, I gotta see what's your bonus on handle animal?
10.
Plus 10.
Plus 10. All right, and you roll
So,
an 18. That's crazy. So to the astonishment of the rest of the people in your party, you slide into that saddle, the war rig that this wyvern has,
yeah.
like you were born there.
Mhm.
You get, the reins around your hand, and now you're flying the wyvern. So at first you can sense that the wyvern is struggling against this, but once you sort of take a firm hand on the
Yeah.
reins and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you find that you can control this wyvern. And I'm assuming, are you going to bring it in for a landing, or are you going to like do a few swoops around the village?
I'm gonna
Andron
do
is cheering and jumping up and down. That's so cool.
I'm gonna do a just a I want to fly over the burning the fiery fracas
Okay.
of the village, do a quick scout over is if there's anybody in desperate trouble who's on my side. I, I, I I will land, or actually, I will provide a- aerial support.
Okay. All right. So
I'm glad you
so
said
the
that.
rest of
Need
you
support
guys are down on the
on
ground.
my side.
You see Ono just like off he goes on the wyvern, and Ono, you do a couple of slow circles. You do
Yeah.
see a lot of dead villagers and a lot of dead Sargavans. Frankly, there's a
Okay.
lot of bodies spread all over the village, and you can see that there are also a lot of villagers kind of wandering around. And you can see like in a couple of specific places, they seem to be gathering here. They seem to be gathering to a certain extent here. There are others that are just sort of wandering around. There's some, you don't see anybody that is still in combat.
Good.
Give me a quick perception check.
Sure, sure, sure. I also have one more question. My perception is 29.
Jeez Louise, you're coming out of nowhere with this. All right, so you do see um, several villagers who are looting the Sargavan bodies. They're taking their
Okay.
metal weapons, stripping their armor off, that kind of thing. And some of them are dragging. You remember that there was a pile of bodies that the Sargavans were burning. And several people are, especially these guys who are actually looting, are taking those bodies, the bodies that they've denuded of stuff, and throwing them on that fire and burning the Sargavan bodies. Um,
It smells really good
Okay.
around here.
All
was that
right.
is that pork? Um, a lot of people, actually, more people are sort of getting to the point where they're like, get water. We need to put out the fires. They're
Yeah.
not having an easy time of it. These are eminently flammable buildings, and water is coming out. They have to go to the main fountains and stuff like that, the main wells, and
Oh,
it's not easy. They're doing their best, and they may save a couple of them, but the bulk of those buildings are likely to be destroyed.
okay. I have a quick question.
Mhm.
Heliotrope, tourmaline, garnet. What color are my wyvern's eyes?
Wyvern's eyes are a sort of gray violet.
Okay.
The wyvern itself is a ruddy reddish color.
Are we gonna get a poem out of this?
I was
No,
going to say,
no,
never
no.
expected that question.
Friends, I would like you to meet my friend Violet.
Did you say violence?
Violet.
Because that works better for our group.
This is Violet, the wyvern, and she's going to be hanging out a while with us, and we're going to see how it goes.
All right. Welcome, Violet. So the gear there, there's a couple of things that you should know about Violet. So Violet's a standard wyvern.
Mhm.
It has been trained to respond to commands.
Okay.
One thing you should remember is that while a fantastic handle animal skill is great,
Mhm.
you have not subsequently been trained either. Now, you guys will remember when you got horses, that you guys can get, certain powers. You'll be able to teach tricks and stuff like that. Oh no, if you care to move through that process, there's a possibility that you can help sort of find out how Violet is trained so that you can help her or use some of her tricks.
Here, I
That's
finished with these newspapers.
Bad wyvern, no donut.
you know what? Um,
Right
let
now
me.
she'll allow you to ride her, but
Yeah,
like some of the battle stuff, maybe.
right. I get.
Yeah, you're
That's
not really
some.
trained to do.
That's true. I am just a teenage monk. I don't
A
really have
lawful
any
good teenage monk.
wyvern skills. For now, I'm just gonna we're gonna just fly around, scout around. Then we're gonna land near my party, and I will report back what I have seen.
Okay. Do you just a quick question that has nothing to do with anything. Do you speak Chilaxian?
I don't think so.
Okay. I didn't suspect so, but
Wait. I can cast comprehend languages if he's within reach.
okay.
Um, all I speak is common.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right. So, other battlefield things that you guys might want to do before talking to the commander. So, Arendar mentioned something earlier that sort of passed by, but we may want to revisit at this point. I don't. He said something. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he said something like, "I don't care about the Wyvern Rider," which in any other conversation might not have the sort of meaning that it has when Arendar or Wraith says something of this nature.
Right.
So I just wanted to
It
confirm.
means something different,
It
whenever.
means, yeah, it might, yeah. There's a subtext there.
Hey, wait, I didn't say anything. How am I getting blamed for this?
Yeah.
You're his brother. You get, it's sort of, brushed with the same tar brush.
Oh, he disagrees with me most of the time on enemies.
Yeah, you're the one that was like, no, we should talk to them. At which point, an arrow suddenly mysteriously appears in their
Yes.
throat.
He's like, go ahead, talk. See how
One
well
one
they talk
second.
now.
I'm pretty sure Poe can speak with dead. That's a talent he has.
Yeah.
The dead don't come back to be a pain in our ass later.
See, I'm just being considerate to Poe, not making him cast a spell.
I can order one, but I haven't done it yet. I'll order it.
Feel the vibe I'm getting at? All these people you want to have conversations
Sorry.
with?
No, I just want to have a conversation with one person, and I've already got him, so I don't
Okay,
care about the
so
rest of them.
I haven't killed him yet, so talk.
well, you've got an
As we're
opportunity
walking back to
since
town,
Ono
I
is sort
say,
of careening around
yeah.
the sky.
Yeah, Ono's
And,
getting into his wyvern
and the
age.
guy
So
looks up, and I was like, yeah, that's our teenage monk that just stole your wyvern. He's not the one you need to worry about. The one that looks just like me with a bow, you need to stay on opposite side of me from him, because he will
So
drop you without
I
even
mean,
thinking.
I'm rooting for Ono. Figure out the wyvern thing. That'd be a cool ad, dude.
I have, it's just me, but I have a feeling that we're going to think about this campaign in two parts: pre-Wyvern and post-Wyvern.
Post wyvern.
Post wyvern, yes.
All right. So when we look back, several years from now, we're like, man, that B team really went south after the post-Wyvern thing, didn't it? Yeah, oh yeah. It was just never the same. All right. So are you guys going to do anything horrible to this guy? If he wakes up, if you guys allow him to wake up, he will begin talking quite excitedly, quite nervously in what some of you, I think Andrew speaks Chilaxian, and Wraith might speak Chilaxian
Yes, I
too.
speak Chilaxian.
All right, so you will hear this guy if you allow him to wake up, he will immediately start babbling in Chilaxian. Please don't
Well,
kill me.
the thing about it is the women rider that's unconscious and where he
Mhm.
is right next to a large group of the commoners, the people, the
Yeah,
villagers.
only about 40 or 50 feet away. Yeah.
So if the villagers decide to rip him apart, I mean, none of us are going to stop them.
Okay.
But I'm not going to go out there and bother with him. I'm waiting to see my brother talk to this other guy.
Okay. Uh, so you guys basically just leave him on the field?
Yes,
Well, unless
with the understanding that the villagers are going to deal with him.
the sweeping winds dude is out there, if he would do anything. And Vondram and Titus are both kind of close to the group. They're kind of between the rider and the group. So if they would do anything, that might happen. But the twins are not going to interfere with him at all.
Yeah, so the unconscious rider is here. Three Weeping Ravens is right next to him, but you can tell that he's basically here to support you guys. He's not going to ace anybody, but he's not going to save anybody either. Ono's flying around like a psychotic. The rest of you are over here. Well, when this guy stands
Typical
up, I
teenage
mean,
kid.
wait, three Weeping Ravens is sort of keeping an eye on him. And when this guy awakes, he sort of sits up and begins blathering in Chilaxian, at which point it gets the attention of all these guys. So Titus, Vondram, Poe, so they will begin moving over there. Because they have been tending to some friends of theirs' bodies right here, and there's a giant pile of burning villagers right here. They will absolutely go over there to provide justice. Titus, Vondram, Poe, are you planning to do anything to stop them at all?
I mean, I'm all for the little guy, and the little guy got tromped on pretty hard too, so I'm not going to stop him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything.
I'm thinking about taking a 2 hour nap.
I gotcha. All right, so Three Weeping Ravens joins the four of you as a giant group of villagers starts going over. Whoops, sorry about that. I didn't want to bring the flaming stuff.
Who bring the flaming stuff?
It's all about the flaming stuff.
It's inconvenient from a map standpoint, though. So yeah, these guys will sort of come over here, and then you may not want to watch. But yes, if you guys take a peek back there, you will see that they make fairly quick work out of that guy. There's a lot of high-pitched chillaxian, which turns into high-pitched screaming, which turns into silence in probably a 30-second span.
Oh.
So am I GM approved for a 2 hour nap so I can refresh all my stats?
Not
I don't see anything that could stop you.
Okay.
Oh.
Unless you guys as a party decide to say, well, we've killed the Chilaxians. Now, if we kill all the villagers, we get the village.
But we didn't call dibs on the village though, so I don't think it really helped us.
And if you get the village and you can break into the monastery, you can get the monastery. Suddenly, you guys are local landowners. And we start a new campaign. All right. As that is taking place, you guys find yourselves back in this area with this hobgoblin commander. And again, he's looking at you stoically. He does not seem afraid. He seems composed, even though he's tied up and at your mercy. It's almost as if he expects the worst and has resigned himself to it.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's going to go. I don't necessarily need many people in here with me. Arendar would
Well,
actually
Ono's,
be
I
all
have a
right.
feeling, just flying around. Whee! You can hear in the
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah, I've got someone on the door lookout on teenage boy look or teenage monk lookout. It's like just make sure he's still up there flying around. Yell at me if he lands and starts coming this way. Um,
That sounds so horrible when you say it like that. I need someone at the door on teenage boy lookout.
no, teenage monk.
Teenage monk lookout. Oh yeah, that softens it a little
That's
bit,
much
yeah.
better.
Yeah. I was gonna say, oh boy. All right, so I don't know who's gonna be on teenage monk lookout, but I'm sure somebody will be on. Who is
Not me.
anybody
Well,
going
I've
to
had a
join
nap.
Arendar?
I can sprout my wings and grab the far glass and keep my
Okay.
eye out for teenage monks.
Okay.
So
Just
I
the ones on
suppose that's
ribbons.
what I do.
Gotcha. All right. Who is going to join Arendar in the hut with the commander, the Hobgoblin commander?
Me.
Okay, Wraith's in there. Andrew's at the door. Poe, Vondram, what about you
I'm going to
guys?
stay outside and keep my eye on things in general.
Okay.
Me too.
All right. So it's Wraith and Arendar and Titus at the door. All right. So this guy is just sitting there, and uh
Sargavin?
no, relatively cultured common. He
Oh.
basically says to you, I know, I know what the typical end result of defeat in battle is. I don't know if you've decided to kill me or not, but if all things are equal, I have no particularly loyalty to the Sargavans, and if there is information I can provide to you in exchange for my life, I'd be willing to provide it.
Huh. Huh.
I want to know what was your job here? What were you guys sent here to do and why way past the front lines and the opposite direction of where you guys are attacking? Why are you guys way out here?
Up until about a month ago, I was detached to the Sargavan 5 Corps. We were fighting the Mwangi in various locations here in the south of Sargava. I was sent by Inquisitor Krona with my unit to pacify this town and the monastery. We left. I was taken away from here to see to some guerrillas activity that to the south,
Huh.
and returned to this. Our orders were to take the town, provoke the monastery into trying to retake the town from us, and then take the monastery and capture the two wind lords, Pilus and Longinus. After that, we were to compel the brothers to take us to Castle Korstull, subdue the fires either with their assistance or without, and loot the place. I was provided a description of a magical torch, which I was to deliver back to Inspect Inquisitor Krona at V-Corps as soon as possible. The rest of the loot of the monastery, the town, and the castle were to be ours to distribute with the appropriate tithing to our Sargavan commanders.
Oh.
Wow. All that with a force that roughly six people destroyed. And you
We did
guys
not
thought you were going to take a whole town and take a whole monastery?
we did not expect a guerrilla cadre full of wizards from a village of Mwangi tribesmen, nor from a monastery that was described to us as being long moribund.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
the two guardians that you guys probably can't see could have wiped your whole army out probably by themselves. My
Wow.
gosh. Okay, this gives me hope to the Saravans that they're this stupid. They send this much out. Um, okay, so you were on the mission that we thought you were on. All right. Um, I'm gonna do this more just out of um what's the word I'm looking for? Common courtesy, because I know what his answer is gonna be. You got any questions for him?
No.
Okay. I just want to find out what you're doing here.
Me?
No, me.
I mean, are you talking about the hobgoblin?
Yeah, tell the guy I just want to find out what you were doing here. Um,
I was
I
pacifying
am
this town as my orders
so,
suggested.
so
However, when I
good.
arrived, I found the town in a state of extreme ill discipline.
Uh,
There was significant when I arrived back yesterday, about 30. I arrived back here from subduing the guerrillas in the south about 36 hours ago. Uh, I found my soldiers had not pacified the town as I had given orders to do so. In fact, there was a significant amount of fraternization. But further, and what I found to be quite disturbing was the entire lack of aggressiveness and willingness to fulfill their duties on the part of my soldiery that I had left here.
huh.
And so, having arrived, I did my best to return them to a state of discipline and have them re-embark on the pacification of the town. I found that to be incredibly difficult up until a couple hours ago
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
when suddenly I did not see a sense of discipline return to my soldiers, but I did see a sense of aggressiveness return.
Yep. Okay. Well,
But I've told you what my orders were. My
the
orders
good
were
news
again
is,
to pacify the town, provoke the monastery, and so that we might take the monastery as well, capture the two wind lords, go to and then compel them to go on to the castle, compel them to assist us as we went to the castle, so that we could subdue the flames that surround the castle and enter it with the prospect of finding some sort of magical torch.
Wow.
oh, okay. Well, the good
Okay.
news is I'm not going to kill you.
Huh. Oh,
That is good
I
news.
stand up and I take him out of the hut towards the group that's still sitting there.
Hmm. Oh, Manolo, shoot this piece of shit.
And I
I'm not gonna kill you. All right, so you take him outside and give him to the townsfolk?
yep, say here's one of the leaders. And I basically tell them what they were here to do and
oh.
say, it's up to you. And then
And
I go to my rest of my comrades and
Well, a similar thing happens, but unlike the Chilaxian Wyvern Rider, who was, those of you who speak Chiliax, I mean, you would have heard him, begging for his life, making, this is not my fault. I'm just following orders. Please don't kill me. Please, please, please. As you guys are sort of walking away, you look back and you see as the townspeople, and the townspeople some of them have Sargavan weapons now, but most of them have more traditional weapons, clubs, various kinds of small knives and stuff like that. And you see the man, so you see the hobgoblin, he doesn't say a word. His feet are obviously free. So
except for one,
he
one side up.
one side up. His friendship. He looks down with what looks like wistfulness at his friendship rope that probably given to him by one of his comrades.
Probably the
Uh,
Wyvern rider.
but you see him sort of as you guys turn away and he looks towards the villagers. He walks a few steps towards them. He doesn't say anything, and he kneels down
Oh,
and bows his head
oh.
as they approach. And they finally reach him, and you can hear the unmistakable two bowling balls clunking together sound of clubs hitting a skull. But he never emits a single sound.
Huh.
No cries of pain, no cries of mercy. He just kneels in front of them, resigned
Good.
to his fate.
Wow.
So, like I said, after that, once the whole party's gathered, then I tell them everything that I just found out, what they were doing here, and
Okay. Hmm.
So yeah, it seems pretty specific. So if we go back to the mappage, let's just pop in here real quick for just a say. So he mentioned that he had been sent here from Five Core, which is in this area right here. So that's this big. Can you guys see that? Oh no, I'm
yeah, that's the
sorry.
group that's looking to go through Gate Pass and
Right. So
Flank everything.
he
Flank
had been
everyone.
detached with Five Corps, and they've been fighting sort of eastward along the bottom of the mountains and fighting various Mwangi kind of stuff. Now he was been detached by this Inquisitor Krona, which apparently is the Inquisitor, for that commander, and basically sent here to the words he used were pacify the town, then provoke the monastery to try and retake the town,
Yeah.
and by doing so, gain entry to the monastery and take the monastery as well,
Mhm.
including the capture of the two Windlords. And he specifically mentioned Pilus and Longinus that they were to capture them. And that they were to compel, the words he used were to compel the brothers to take us to Castle Korstull,
Uh-huh.
subdue the magical fire there, and loot the place. I was provided a description of a magical torch, which I was to deliver back to Inquisitor Krona at Five Corps.
So he's
Huh.
got the same mission we do, other than we were supposed to be a little less brutal
Murdery.
about it.
Well, this was why, I mean, this is what you heard from Simeon was like the idea was that this thing sort of exists and the Sargavans are after it. We need you guys to sort of
So we
check
just
it
need to
out.
get it just because we don't want them to have it.
Well, yeah. So I mean, no, and even Simeon, was like, we don't know that this is even a real thing, but our intelligence suggests that the Sargavans think it's a real thing. And so if we, supposedly it's powerful enough that it could, be a fulcrum upon which the war might turn. And so it
Okay.
only makes sense for them to do it, to do the same. Now
Okay.
this goes back to the idea. Now, if you'll remember, you spoke to a man called Errol.
Hey,
Uh,
let's move your boom closer to your mouth, would you?
oh, sorry. You
All
also
right.
spoke to a man. Is that better?
Yep, much better.
Okay.
Thanks.
So you also spoke to a man called Errol who said that he represented
Can you
a.
move it back?
God, you guys suck. You spoke to a guy named Errol who was being taken care of by Beckus, who basically said he was a member of of another party
Of a
that was
lesser
sent here
party.
but earlier than you
Hmm.
guys that was sent
Yeah,
here to do that. Now you guys didn't really talk to him about that because he was still very sick, but it's possible that the negative effects that he was feeling from balance might be now that balance is gone might be better. So I don't know.
wow, that makes sense.
But yeah, basically that's where that stands.
I've already hit my limit on intimidate on interrogations today, so
Well, after a while, you do see what looked to be. So the last time you saw Beckus and Errol, Errol was still quite sick, and Beckus had been sort of, uh, sort of nursing him back to health. The last time you sort of popped in, and this is before you guys talked with Balance, it looked like Errol was in many ways on the mend. He seemed to be
but just very
recovering.
slowly, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not too long before you see them sort of wandering through the streets. In fact, it looks as if Beckus is trying to find you. Errol looks, well, not only different, but much healthier. And you can
Oh man,
see the villagers are trying to, fix things out in the background and stuff. But, Beckus and they're like, hey, hey, look, here they are, that kind of stuff. And they've found you guys.
walk up, clasp her back on the back. Feel better?
He's like, I do. Are you talking about Errol, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, he does. He's like, I do feel better. I'm not sure what changed,
It was
but
us.
it was you guys. But I can see that there's a pitched battle that's taken place, and frankly, I'm sorry, considering what the Sargavans have done, to all of all of the freedom-loving peoples of this region. I'm in your debt for having taken this village back.
That's what we do.
I thought we do. Wait, yeah.
Right
Glad
thing
to
to do.
You
glad to
can
help.
you can thank Bondi and Titus.
Yeah, and I mean, it's obvious that there had been a significant battle. So he's like, "Look, I don't know if I." He goes, "Much of the last several days, are a bit of a blur for me. And he looks over at Becca's. He's like, I really appreciate that Becca's has done this for me and helped me. But he's like, have you guys seen or heard from any of my the people that I came here with?
Okay, so this is when I'll get closer and get a little quieter with my speech because I
Okay,
don't know who's around here. And actually, yeah, I don't even know if I want Beckus around for this one.
you just gonna kill him?
Well, yeah. No,
Okay,
that's what I have a brother for.
gotcha.
I
Okay,
just I just think about someone dying and then like arrows appear in them. It's just kind of weird. It just works out that way.
and arrows appear. But
Like, huh, I did that? No.
wow.
So I'm gonna thank Beckus and then I'm gonna grab him and like pull him away towards us.
Hmm.
And then I'm gonna say, okay, so here's the deal. When we went to the monastery, they gave a very different chain of events than what you did. They made it
You sh
sound like that you guys were like reckless and took off to do something, but that's not the story you gave us with what you guys were doing and how you interacted with them. So,
No, my recollection, we went when we first arrived, we approached the monastery. We and we had been we wanted to enter a monastery and talk to Pilus and Longinus. We wanted to talk to the head monks and explain to them what Lord Verpert had told us that was potentially happening. And
remember who was
but
at the front door?
yeah, it was a young monk named Kayla or Sayla, something like that.
Yeah, it was a
Uh,
chick, young chick. Yeah, same
Yeah, it
one
was
we
a
talked
young
to.
female monk. Anyway, she had refused us entry. They wouldn't let us in for over a week. We spoke to her, but this door guard, this Kayla, uh, um, but she said she told us on different occasions that she didn't want us in there, that her masters had rejected, that they didn't that they would be offended by us, that kind of thing. And we told her that we had found some evidence that there was something going on in the valley to the east, the one they say is forbidden, which we had heard these things. We had, in our, on our party, uh, um, Sister Malin had done some divinations that suggested that the magic that keeps the storm there going was used to create the storm, was similar to that which created the big storm over Sequin, where we're from. And but she just sneered at us and told her this when we told her, and said that she was becoming irritated with us, and she told us to leave.
Yeah, she
Um,
made it sound like you guys were the aggressors, you were crazy, and then ignored her warning, and you guys took off and went anyway.
Oh no, no, at no time were we aggressive at all. We were petitioning to come in so that we could speak to the two Windlords.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
So now I'm not so. Now I'm suspect of the girl at the monastery, but I didn't know who you were and where you came from. So now that I know who
Yeah.
sent you, that
Yeah,
does.
we're from Sequin. Lord Verpert's had put together a group of us to come out here. He had told us that there might be some intelligence suggesting there was some Sargavan
Oh
activity,
wait,
and we were to get to the
Lord
bottom of it.
Bert. I thought Simeon sent them out here.
Simeon from the Lyceum? No, no, no. Lord Vertbert sent us.
Oh, never mind.
He recruited us from several of us were refugees, and he recruited us from some of the refugees to put together as an expedition. Some of us
Oh,
had worked together before, but we Talvek, who's a half elf, he hadn't been with us. Sister Malin and I had worked together for many years, and he put us together. And Selrian, obviously the professor, was with us, but Vorpert had he had this guy that he put with us, Talvek, who was very good with a knife and was good at opening things and stuff like that. And then we knew that he'd done some thieving in his time. And then there was
came from Hornbird. I'm surprised all of you guys aren't good with a knife for backstabbing and stuff because that's kind of what he does. Never
What do you
mind. Get
mean?
back on my craft
Lord
list.
Vortberg is my understanding is that he's recruiting people from the refugee to to defend Sequin. I know he was sending some cadres out into the swamps and the forest area because that's where Ursik came from. He was a lizard folk guy that joined us. He was with us here as well.
You just keep thinking that. That's probably better off for you.
I don't know what you mean. Anyway, Vorport sent us and to try and investigate over here and to see what was going on. He apparently got some information about that there was some activity, some Sargavan activity that was taking place here, and wanted to know to get to the bottom of it. So that's why he sent us. We tried to get into the monastery, and then suddenly, it was like it's hard to describe, but it was like none of us were very interested in anything anymore. And it really it was some sort of malaise, and it affected all of us, but it seemed to affect me just a great deal. And I don't know what happened after that until a few days ago. I would be in and out of consciousness and stuff like that, and I knew that Beckus here was helping, or Beckus over there, since you removed him from the area. Um, I, he hid me from the Sargavans, and I remember him telling me that the Sargavans had arrived, and I thought, well, my where are my friends? And and Becca said he didn't know, and I haven't seen them since. Have you seen any of them around
Well, no, haven't. Matter of fact, that was you, or maybe it's they. One of them said that the group went ahead and went in or something, went where they weren't supposed to go.
here? I don't know anything about that. I know that
It wasn't, it
we had
wasn't you that told me, then it was probably the
was it that Kayla?
chick at the gate. Yeah.
What is up with her? Because it sounds like she told us two different stories.
Yeah. So anyway,
But surely, I mean, if they went back up there, surely they would be around somewhere. Certainly you haven't seen any of them. I can describe them for you.
you can try.
Well, Sister Malin, obviously, she's human like me. She's, I would say, in her early 40s, tall, broad-shouldered woman with bronze skin and black hair. She has, rings in her hair. Um, no, no,
Sorry.
okay.
We're fresh
Uh,
out of those.
All right, and then the professor, he was our mage. He's an elf, very pale even for an elf. Silver hair. He always used to tie it behind his neck. His robes were fine quality and engraven with a lot of sigils, but he 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 wasn't much for sewing or mending, and so there was a lot of creases and cuts and mildew and things like that on his robes. He's a brilliant man, but very absent-minded. Selrian is his name. Selrian Vos.
Never seen anybody like that.
All right. Well, then maybe you would remember if you saw him would be Ursik. He was a lizard folk. He was a nature sorcerer or a shaman of some sort. Tall, gaunt lizard folk. Have you seen any lizard folk?
Not since breakfast.
Well, I mean, he's not. He came out of the swamps to the west of Sequin, as part of the refugee stuff, and as the refugees, generally quiet. Only really, he doesn't speak much, but powerful shaman.
Yeah, that's quite the unique group. We would have remembered them and didn't see them at all.
The only other one I can describe to you is Talvik, our rogue, half elf, youngish, slim, olive skin, dark hair, ties his hair with leather cords. He used to have little he had them in different levels of knots. He said the knots meant something to him. He always smiled. He always was very cheerful. Told him he loved to he used to say that he knew more about Mwangi ruins than any professor in Sequin.
Hmm.
No,
Nothing. Well, they must have gone. Well, Errol seems very taken aback by this, and he's like, "Well, they must have gone somewhere. Surely they didn't disappear."
I was gonna say
But
not it.
yeah, I mean, surely they didn't disappear. Is that even possible?
Why don't you go ask the lying lady at the gate, see if she can tell you. We're gonna be heading there soon, but anyway.
Okay. Well, as you were sort of talking to Errol, kind of like is like,
Go to
well, I
bed,
don't.
kid.
I've been standing here for like 3 minutes.
Off
He's
getting
getting
camera.
old.
older and slower.
Yeah, what can we say? We're just getting old.
You were off camera, woman.
I know, he told me to wait.
Didn't want to interrupt my questioning. Night girl. Okay, too. Um, yeah, at this stage, and I'm just talking to our party at this stage. y- we were told by the lady at the gate, which, like I said, based on the differing stories, I don't trust her. But she was go take care of the town and then come back here. Well, we took care of the town,
Yeah, so we need to go back to the gate.
so he'd go back and demand some answers.
All
And as
right, so
pissed off as
you guys head
Arendar
back
is,
up to the monastery.
yeah, as aggravated as Arendar is, he probably taps Titus's shoulder and says, "You should probably do the talking because I'll get us in trouble."
Have we rested yet?
No, but that probably
We
wouldn't be a
need
bad
to,
idea.
We
I
need to do
did. I
that
had a
first.
nap.
especially
Okay.
if you're going to say something asinine, then we really need to rest.
Arendar saying something like, "No, he would never do that." Oh wait, that
Hey,
is kind of his MO.
Les, what's the relationship between the monastery and the castle again? I don't remember. Are they related? They both have monks, right?
Well, the monastery and the castle are sort of one and the same. It's a monastery,
Okay.
but it's a large and fortified. It's got a wall around it. There are multiple stone buildings inside. It's in many ways they're both the same thing. The monastery.
So that has the castle that we were trying to reach. I mean, that was the whole point.
Oh no, no, Castle Korstull is in a different
Yeah.
place. So yeah,
Okay,
no, the
that's what I
monastery.
thought.
Yeah, sorry, no, I misunderstood your question. So the monastery is let's move here. So the monastery and the village of Eresh is right here on the near the river.
Right. Okay.
The best way to get to Castle Korstull is it's about 28 miles upriver through that area. That's probably the quickest way to get there.
And that's got one of the monk brothers or whatever, right? Or are they?
Well, the Hobgoblin guy basically said that their job was supposed to be to break in. Well, it was to take the village and then provoke the monastery into having the monks come out to try and retake the village away from the Sargavans, and that would give them an opportunity to break into the monastery and take over the monastery. And then they were supposed to capture both of those brothers, Pilus and Longinus, and force them to help them
Get to the castle.
get to the castle and turn off. So the legend around the castle is that the castle is surrounded, like the castle was cursed, and it's surrounded by this magical fire that no arcane magic can pierce or something like that.
Okay.
And but it's all legend, right? Nobody really knows because nobody goes there. And
So
so
that's
the I
empty.
well,
So that's like a ruin. It's not occupied by anybody. I see. I
yeah,
thought the one of the brothers was there, but they're
No,
both
both
here.
brothers are supposed to be in this one, in the
Okay,
monastery here.
they're supposed to be in the monastery, yeah.
gotcha. All right.
But yeah, and so supposedly, according to the legend that Simeon heard about, and one assumes, Vortbert has also heard that intelligence that the torch of the burning sky is contained within Castle Korstull. Now the Sargavans seem to believe that. Simeon is like, if the Sargavans believe it, we have to take it seriously, and so sent you guys. Sounds like Vortbert may have gotten that information before Simeon did because he said the you're talking about Errol and his guys. It sounds like they came here a week before you guys arrived.
So another reason Vordberg's just a two-faced traitor that just needs to be killed.
Well, the guy seemed to. I mean, he didn't seem. I mean, he referred to him as Lord Vortbert. He's trying to put together these things. He mentioned some things that you guys knew about, like these commando attacks in the west and in the plains. Vortbert is trying to put together a thing. He's put together these guys as sort of. Well, remember, Vortbert came to you guys and
Oh
said, "Would
yeah,
you guys come work for me as a commando force?" Well, it's
right.
possible he tried to put one of his own together. In fact, it looks like that's exactly what he tried to do, and that
Yeah,
their first job was to send him here.
yeah. I thought for some reason I was thinking Simeon sent these guys.
Mm-mm.
So
Sounds
very
good.
much on board with them when I thought that, but as soon as I found out that Fort Worth sent them, then I'm like, okay, whatever. You're a half a step
Well, they
above
don't
the
seem to
Goblin.
be. I mean, they don't seem to be evil guys.
Oh no, but they work for an evil guy.
Well, maybe you guys do too. Nobody's done a lineman check on Simeon, have they?
Doesn't matter.
Uh,
Maybe
huh.
the weather. Wait, maybe
Simeon's
the
our evil guy.
He's our evil
he's
guy,
our
which
evil
makes him
guy.
the good guy.
The evil guy of our evil guy is my evil guy.
Oh,
But yeah, so
so
the castle's about 28, 30 miles away, but it's along the river.
Okay, so to the
okay,
monks.
so I think we need to yeah,
You gonna head up to the monks?
we're probably gonna need to rest. That way we're ready to
Yeah,
go.
once we rest and everybody's back to full and
Okay.
spells and all that, then we need to go back to the monks.
Okay. So Beckus helps you get. I mean, there's a couple of places that he basically
That
puts you
didn't get torched.
back into burn. Yeah, here, have this burning hut. You guys can rest in there for
It's
about
nice
20
and warm
minutes.
and cozy.
It's toasty
Really
in there.
warm.
But yeah, he finds you some space and makes sure that you're provided with food and drink and privacy. He actually Becca seems to be I mean, you guys knew he was sort of like a local elder, and he seemed to be able to fight off's the wrong word. He seemed to be relatively unaffected by the
By balance.
by balance, which makes you at first it seems confusing. You're like, maybe he's also an evil guy of our evil guy. But then you're like, wait a second, maybe Beckus already was kind of balanced, and didn't necessarily wasn't necessarily overly affected by the pernicious effect of the Trilith. Either way, he's sort of helping to organize things. People are coming up to him. He's helping and that kind of stuff as you guys. He makes sure that you guys get a hut of your own, food and drink, so that you guys can rest. And he actually has a couple of the younger villagers come up and say, you know, these people are not to be disturbed, you know, for however long a rest period is in Pathfinder 1.
Gotcha. Um,
And for
I th
several, oh, go ahead.
sorry. Uh, it might not be the time to mention this. Violet the Wyvern needs healing, and I want to see to it that she gets water and food, but maybe it's not time to deal with that now.
Okay.
Well, before they throw one of the Sargavans in the fire, you can give her one of those.
Does she
Do
eat
wyverns eat human
people?
flesh? I don't know. Hold
Well,
on.
I would
Let me
imagine
check.
they're carnivores.
I mean, I would think,
It's a big dragon-like creature. It's got to be.
They are dragon-like creatures with big wings and a tail tipped with a hooked stinger, two
okay,
taloned feet.
yeah,
Yeah,
Uh,
stinger means they paralyze stuff to eat it, so they're carnivores.
right, sure,
You want me to have a
uh,
chat with it? I speak Draconic.
So do I.
really. Um,
ooh, okay.
okay, really, I didn't know that.
I do, and
I got handle animal. What can I speak
we
Draconic?
can stand next to each other, and you can ask questions, and I can translate.
That's wonderful. Uh, well, I mean, does she seem like she is intelligent?
Uh,
Uh,
She's like, hey, I'm right here.
uh,
No,
do you say
I
that in
mean,
Draconic? Do you
oh,
think she's stupid?
no.
Well, she looks stupid. I mean, I don't know.
I
I'm right
mean,
here.
I just don't know how smart wyverns are.
Does anybody want to do a quick knowledge nature?
I don't know if I have that.
You know what?
Knowledge
Never mind.
nature?
I'm
Probably
going
not
down
with that.
Wrong.
Can I give her like some standard knowledge checks,
This is
like
really
Briggs and
a
Stratton or something?
nature thing. What did you roll? Oh, there you go.
Two 12s.
Two 12s. All right.
If you multiply the guy, that's 144, which is a great
Wow,
roll.
Ono's popping off with the 20s today. So Ono, knowledge nature, you roll a 23. You know that wyverns are so you know a couple of things about wyverns. One, they're considered to be quite intelligent. And they can speak their own languages and understand the languages of others
I
depending on
see.
their training. You
Okay.
also remember from your knowledge nature training that they're they're almost always hungry,
Okay.
and that while wild wyverns can be very aggressive and
Um,
brutish,
yeah.
trained wizards can become wizards. Trained wyverns can become powerful allies.
Huh. I see. All right, great. Um,
They
I th-
do have one thing you should be aware of, however. Well, oh no, you don't need to be aware of that because they are technically and they are neutral, so they're not evil. They are, but they can be aggressive, but they can also be powerful allies if you make
I
allies.
see. I think my long-term goal is gonna be to make Violet a ally and a friend who travels with us. Uh, um, Logistically, how is that going to work? I mean, if we want to stay in a town, if I mean, it's
Yeah,
gonna
you can't really put it in the horse stables because then the next morning there'll be no more horses left.
Right.
right,
Yeah, they're almost always hungry. So there's, I mean, feeding a wyvern is a significant expense.
right.
Uh,
It's a full-time
Storing,
job.
I don't know what they don't call it. You don't store a horse. What do you do with a horse when you put it in a
Board
barn?
it.
People.
Board it.
Stable.
Boarding, stabling a horse.
Mm.
Yeah, horse storage is probably not great. No, stabling a wyvern probably would require significant would require custom arrangements.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
like Arendar says, you can't just put them in the barn because the next day there won't be any horses left.
Right. Okay. You know what?
They
Oh,
speak
oh no.
Draconic, right?
They speak
Yes.
Draconic, and your guess is that this one probably also speaks Cheliaxy.
Okay.
Or at
Um,
least understands Cheliax.
Yeah.
I'm. You know what? I'm going to
I mean,
respectfully.
honestly, what if you just let it go at night to do its thing and meet us here in the morning and it can feed itself?
With that,
And
I'm
where's the
going.
motivation for it to stay here?
Yeah, I don't want to make it my captive. You know, if it belongs with me, it will come back to me. I do want to do this. I want to try to heal it. I know it was hurt. I want to make sure that Wyvern has water and food. I don't know if Wyvern is a boy or a girl, actually. I didn't check.
Just check under the wing.
I'm not gonna do that.
He dismounts. It's like, oh no, what are you doing?
No, I, you know, if the
Do you want to do a perception check?
no, I don't.
I step forward, I roll diplomacy, and I speak in
Okay.
Draconic. Let's just get this out in the open. 25 diplomacy.
Nice,
Ooh, okay.
nice.
Hi. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Ono, the person who hopefully you perceive as having liberated you, because you are liberated. Things are your choice. And I relay what I said back to Ono.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
We'd like to heal you
He
and
looks.
feed.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that is just formalities, niceties.
yeah. Mhm. My
All right. So you say that to him, and he looks at you curiously, and he says to you, "My name is." It's this guttural language. He says, "My name is Gorkek
Gork.
of the Chilaxian Ninth Wyvern Cavalry."
Oh
Mind
boy.
if we call you Violet?
He's like that
I
spies
do
named
not know
Violet.
this Violet, but
Good. Perfect.
uh, I
Hi, Violet.
will, I will, he's like, if I am injured and in need of sustenance, if you
We
can provide both, I will be in your debt.
you're not oh no, shall we say where he's not in our debt, he stays with us of his own free will and accord.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I say we are happy to feed you and heal you and provide you with water. I'm only speaking for my friend Ono, but I think he would like to say that we would like to be your allies. Um, you are free to do as you wish. If you wish to travel with us, we would like that.
Perfect.
You can fend for yourself in the evenings and feed yourself because it would be very hard to find a place to put you up for the evening. Nevertheless, we would love to befriend you and travel with you. And oh no,
Protect
thanks.
each other. Like I said, you got to like sweet
Right
spot
there, you
because
go.
otherwise, there's no reason for it to stay around if we're not doing much
Okay,
for it.
well said. And I relay what Arendar said to me.
This is good. This is good. Good.
So Gorkek looks curiously at you and he's like, I do not know this word friend. However, if I join you, you say that I will have freedom, I will hunt for myself, and I will not remain a part of the Ninth Chalaxian Cavalry and therefore not a servant of Queen Abrogale.
Yes, that
Correct.
is correct. You are a free being, and we hope that through your freedom you choose to travel and venture with us and protect each other.
But if you don't, that's okay too.
That's totally fine.
Thank you, Eric.
Hmm,
Arendar.
okay. Uh, he looks around at he sort of looks around. He looks at Ono very specifically, and says then he turns back to Titus and says, by what right did this one, who you refer to as Ono, take my saddle and ride? By whose authority?
Oh no,
Oh,
you speak, I'll translate.
oh boy. I'm very sorry about that. Heat of battle. I was forward. I was impetuous. My actions were temerarious, and
No.
I apologize for my impetuous behavior. Of course, you are totally free. I will never ever try to touch your saddle again without your permission.
Okay. Then Arendar intervenes before you translate and says, "Oh no, vanquish the lesser person who thought he had control of him."
You say this in which language? Draconic?
I can say it in Draconic.
Okay.
Say, so Ono bested the one who thought he controlled you. That's the authority that he did this by.
Oh,
And then with that authority, he gave you your freedom.
So, okay, hold on.
wow. Wow. It's very good.
Okay. So the creature Gorkek looks at you and says, "So this one has ridden me under the second paradigm of authority, that of conquest,
Yes.
and he has
Wow.
and he has and he has subsequently granted me under that authority, he has granted me my freedom and excised me from the command of Queen Abigail."
That is correct.
He looks over at Ono, and then you see he's only got two. So wyverns are different from dragons in that they only have two legs. So he's sort of like, I don't know, a big angry chicken.
Angry
Uh,
chicken. Nice.
but he looks over at Ono. His red skin is sort of like, ready, and he looks at you with those grayish violet eyes, and you can see it's serpentine, but it's unmistakably a low bow. And
Oh,
he says in Draconic, "This is acceptable to me. I will travel with you until such time as my freedom dictates that I will travel with you no more. Please tell the rider, Ono, that I am in his debt and he may ride me at his convenience.
I,
Right.
I pat Ono on the back and say, "You're good, man. Knock yourself out."
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Oh no, you only speak common, so this entire conversation is taking place sort of around you. And yeah, you're just like, what is he saying? Wait, what is he saying?
Oh,
Wait,
so
what is
yeah.
he
Oh
saying?
no, we sold you to the wyvern.
We sold you to the Wyvern. You are now part of the Ninth Chelaxian Cavalry, Air Cav, death from above. So you've gone over to the Sargovans now. So you can keep the stool samples and
It
have
was
fun
nice
storming
traveling
the
with you.
castle. Yeah, basically they say, it bows to you and basically says, yeah, he may ride me at his, as he wishes. In exchange for him providing me, his. Well, first it's like he seemed very clear that the second paradigm of authority is conquest. This sounds very Chilaxian.
Mm.
But you beat his old rider, and then you topped it with you may leave at any time, and you are not part of the of this whatever unit that he was in, ninth Air Cavalry. And so he both of those were bonuses plus a 25 diplomacy check on the part of Titus has moved him to friendly.
Nice.
And
Nice. Wow.
every day, Arendar, I didn't know you spoke Draconic, but we'll teach
Erendar's
Ono
got
some.
all kinds of surprises that you guys don't know about.
That's
I bet.
incredible. Incredible.
So we'll teach Ono some phrases here and there. Maybe not the whole language, but
So,
Great.
so
Okay.
Eric, during your next level, save one skill point for the language skill, and every point you have in the language skill, you can add another language to your repertoire. So
I
next level, put a point in linguistics and make it draconic.
okay. That's a good idea. Okay. Okay. Huh. All right.
And
or we can just teach you swear
that'll go
words.
like as we're teaching you through this level how to do it. So then when you get the next level, then all of a sudden, you're fluent in draconic
So
That's
because
totally great.
Titus and Arendar have been teaching you the whole level.
I
so
like that very much.
he looks at you guys and says again says in Draconic, I have expended a great deal of energy in this attack. I must feed. If you would be kind enough to remove my saddle and accoutrements, that I will take a brief leave from you so that I may feed on the remnants of this battle. And he kind of looks
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, find one of the Sargovans and just take him somewhere and eat him somewhere else. You're gold.
Um,
And I'll point out, I'll say, this guy right here, do you want me to take the armor off him? Would that taste better?
It
um,
is he I don't know if you've ever seen a wyvern smile,
Okay.
but it is a dangerous looking thing. And he says, that will not be necessary.
Okay.
uh,
Then
But
oh,
he did ask that you like remove the saddle.
right.
oh no, will
We'll tell Ono that since it's best
yeah.
for Ono to do that kind of thing.
All right.
All right. It takes you a minute
Remember,
to sort of there's a
Ono,
lot of go
you
ahead.
have to feed, water, and walk him and clean up.
That's right.
He's got to have a trash bag because it's no longer this little bitty dog, this little doggy bag. He's got to
It's like a giant tarp that you have to like roll up. I've never
carry him with you.
seen anything this big. What has this creature been eating? Sargovans, with their armor. My God. But yeah, so it takes you a hot minute to get all the straps undone and everything. It's fairly complicated, but you puzzled it through and finally get it off of them. It sort of flocks its wings together, and it's almost like it's stretching a little bit, and then it takes off towards the southern part of the thing, like where the camp was,
Uh,
and goes in. The bulk of that place is still on fire, but he sort of like doesn't seem to give too much of a care, and he sort of lands sort of like in the middle around here by where that thing was, and you don't. I mean, there's still fires going down there. Nobody's really rushing to put out the fires down in the Sargovan camp, but you do see him sort of dippity doing around in here, and your guess is Arendar that he's eating far more than one.
Okay. That's that many more bodies we don't have to carry over and chuck in the pile. So
Everybody who's there, give me a quick perception check.
I'm
I was
sorry,
probably
who
looking at something
who
else.
gives a perception?
Anybody who was talking, who was there talking with the wyvern,
Just
with
pretty much all of us.
Gor
Gorgak is his name, and
Violet.
as you see him take off, you can see a couple of things. So you can see that Gorkak was once male, but is now the horse equivalent of a gelding.
okay,
Huh.
Hmm.
Wow, but that wasn't a decision that he made.
right.
Well, it probably is why he's fairly happy not to be a part of the Queen's
Yeah.
cavalry anymore.
Interesting,
But
interesting.
yeah, as a gelding.
Can we
Ah,
heal him?
It would probably require
A regeneration, which is like an
Just
eighth
imagine the
regeneration.
level,
amount of
something like that.
loyalty we
Like a
could
seventh or eighth level
gain.
spell.
I tell you what, as a DM, I can safely say that if you give this wyvern his nuts back,
You have a lifeline.
you will have a lifelong friend.
well, Ono is horrified that his wyvern has been altered. Um, I am in favor.
Ono had plans for a breeding farm.
It's Ono's wyvern patch. You know, step, watch where you step. It's a little hand
Funny.
carved
Never
sign
stepped in
and
a turd
some
that clanked
then a,
before.
a shit ton of really ineffectual fencing. Um, Everything's just taken off everywhere. There's nothing up there. All right, so you guys get it. I'm assuming you guys go back to your recitation.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys so again, what's it to set up some Beckus has set up some guards outside and that kind of stuff to keep you and everything. He's provided food and drink such as is available. And you can hear as you guys relax, you guys can hear the sounds of people talking outside, cleanup going on, that kind of stuff. You get some sleep. Several hours go by, and this all took place. I believe the battle took place in the morning.
Yeah, I think it's middle of the day, but yeah.
Okay. If it's the middle of the day, so several hours pass by. I'm not sure how long you guys need, but you guys feel refreshed. The food is wholesome and that kind of stuff. But some of you who are asleep, those of you who are studying, you could easily hear it. But some of you are asleep, begin to wake up, and you could hear what is obviously Becca's outside in the street, not by the doorway, but outside in the street, talking with what sounds like a couple of women about something. You can't really make out what they're talking about.
hmm.
He can do that on his own time. We got stuff to do.
You also notice that Three Weeping Ravens is not in the hut. Is there anybody here who did not need to like sleep and can just study like elvish wizards and stuff like that, or somebody on a short schedule? Does anybody like that?
I'm a,
Arendar doesn't need to sleep, but he doesn't need to study either. So if
So
it's still
you're
the middle of the day, he probably wouldn't have battened down for a nap. He probably
He
would have
probably
stayed.
was chilled. Well, so you will remember that about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours into the thing, you could see three weeping ravens who had been sitting cross-legged, took a brief nap. He had been reading some sort of small document that he'd had, something that you'd seen him doing a couple of kinds. Finally, kind of gets up, dusts himself off, and says, He says, I'm going to see if there is any aid I can give to the villagers. I will be back in a little while. And he exits the place. So he's not there when you guys wake up and you can hear Becca speaking outside. And with it sounds like at least one woman and maybe two.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
guys seem refreshed. Those of you who have to study for your spells certainly will have the time to do so. So you can go back to normal. And it is late afternoon. You can see the sun is dipping towards the horizon. Um, After a few moments, you see one of the guards kind of look over, and the it's a young man, and he talks very briefly to the guy next to him, and then he takes off. In a few seconds, he comes back and Beckus is with him. And Beckus comes in and says, I trust that you've rested. It has been several hours since you guys came in here. Have you rested enough? I have arranged the hut will be made available to you for the evening. You may stay here all night if you wish, but I wanted to make sure that you had everything you need.
Thank you.
I guess. If we're rested, are we going to go see the?
Also, there's a wyvern flying around that says he belongs to you guys.
Yeah,
He's been eating the shitload of dead Zargavans.
yeah.
I will
Okay,
send you a
just want to
bill
make
for
sure that
that.
he wasn't lying. But he
How
says
many
if
how many wyverns do you have? Say that they're with
steady
some
stream.
random out of towners. I mean, is that a common occurrence around here?
Steady stream.
Oh, the
No,
sound.
he's not. He remembers seeing it. He's not sure where it went. Beckus remembers seeing you guys talking to it. So he's a bit curious, but he's not going to ask a lot of questions. So that being the case, he's like, if you guys have a minute, I'd like you to speak with somebody. There's something interesting. I'd like you to.
I'm always willing to speak to someone. They
Yeah.
might not like what I say, but I'll speak with someone.
All right. 1 second.
So you can ask my brother. I'm never short for words.
Yeah,
Okay.
talky blabbermouth. That's him.
All right, so he brings several of you. I mean, depending on how many of you guys want to come out, he brings several of you out into the street, and there's several people there. And he says, "I want to introduce you to a couple of people. This is a woman from the village. Her name is Ambai, and that's this one here." He says, "But this is originally she came from here, but now she is a monk up in the monastery, and her name is Hamena.
You're not the one that's at the door, right?
No, she's definitely not Kayla."
Okay.
She says her name is Hamena, and he introduces him, and they both, are like, it's good to meet you. The monk says it's good to meet you. The other one says thank you for all you've done for our village. And Beckus is like, they've been telling me a story that seems to be of interest, especially after what Errol was talking about earlier.
Mhm.
So basically, they tell you that uh, um, the village one, Ambai, basically says, look, as we're going through and cleaning up and finding out who's dead and who's alive and reuniting people, we're finding something disconcerting. We're basically finding that a lot of people that we're pretty sure were not in the battle have disappeared. Like they're just not here. Their homes are intact, the ones that didn't burn down.
Oh,
Their stuff is there, um, but we don't
Yeah,
know
didn't
where they are. We
didn't you
can't.
say like during this whole thing that the monks were coming out and grabbing people and taking them? People that just like laid down and didn't do anything?
Well, and so then the monk turns to you. So Hamena says, "Yes, there was a period where we were doing that. However, we weren't allowing. We were trying to see if there was some sort of if it was some sort of disease or some sort of magical thing, and that we could maybe try to counteract. And we our shamans and our healers could not seem to counteract whatever was taking place. We brought several, but as
Oh, you know why? Pick me, pick me, pick me. That way.
so as Ambai points out, though, the number in speaking with Ambai, we realized that there are far more people missing than we have brought into the monastery. And what's more, it turns out we have noticed that there are some people missing. Some of our monks are missing from the monastery.
Not it.
oh.
We just got here. All we did is kill an army and help torch some things. I mean, that's the only thing you can pin on us.
Well, well, I don't. There are there's several monks missing, including this Kayla that you spoke with. She
And the
seems
wyvern
to.
is and the wyvern is not that hungry. There's no way.
She's like, okay, I'm not sure about the wyvern, but yes. But she'll also tell you that not only are they missing, and they're missing like 20 monks out
How
of
many people
like
got there?
80.
Oh my God.
So there's
Really?
about 80 monks in the thing, in that live in the monastery full time. About 20 are missing, including the door guard Kayla and both of the brothers. Pilus and Longinus are now not in the in the monastery, and no one has any idea where they've got off to.
Huh.
Okay. The chick at the door, don't trust her as far as I can throw her. Um, so if she's
Kayla,
gone and the brothers are gone,
so Hamena says Kayla Kayla was a competent monk and a good servant to the brothers of the monastery. However, from a personality standpoint, she could be a polarizing influence. She did
Huh.
not. I can tell you that she did not have many friends in the monastery or people that
that's
she
a
was close to.
that's a news flash. Another one. I can tell you why. Pick me. Pick.
Pick me. So there's basically they're saying we're not
And they just
sure.
disappeared like now, like overnight or today. This wasn't a
No.
like gradual one at a time kind of thing. It was just all of them are gone today, or
So Ambe says the villager says we're not sure. It's
from the villager
possible.
standpoint, I understand because everyone was kind of
Yeah, they were all
pacified,
affected.
so they won't know. But
Hame
that wasn't happening at the monastery. They should know whether or not 20 a quarter of them just up and left one night, or if it was just gradual and then eventually, hey, we're missing a quarter of our people.
we suspect it was gradual. You have to she's like well, you have to understand I can't give you a definitive answer to that. And here's why. Our monastery is somewhat bifurcated in that we have monks who follow the teachings of Pilus and we have monks that follow the teachings of Longinus. And so often our training is takes place in small groups or even alone with a single teacher, or even alone without a teacher at all. A great deal of our training revolves around reflection. And oh no, you would recognize this. Not all training is done, sort of like what was the name of the guys in Kung Fu? Were
Kwai
they all
Ching Kane, David
yeah,
Carradine.
yeah, what was the name of the monks? All the monks.
Shaolin.
The Shaolins.
Yeah.
So it like they showed the Shaolins, they were all like out in a big courtyard doing calisthenics and fighting each other and that kind of stuff. They were like our way is more introspective. Our training can be completely cerebral. From that point of view. So it's not often that all 80 of us would be in the same place at the same time. Um, she goes, so I can't give you a definitive answer as to whether everybody disappeared yesterday or it has been happening over time. She's like, my suspicion is that it's been happening over time.
And you just discovered it now?
I was talking with Ambe here, and we had come, several of us had come down in order to see if we could assist the villagers in whatever, after the battle,
Okay.
if we could provide healing services, if we could help with rebuilding. So several of us have come down here to assist. That's when we were made
Uh,
we knew of the malaise because we had brought some villagers to the monastery to try and treat it, and we were completely unsuccessful in that. But then those same villagers who have now returned to the village, it just seemed just like
Well, they
earlier today,
today they
seemed
just
to
stopped.
suddenly throw off the Malays themselves and then wished desperately to come down here. That's when we noticed that there was a battle taking place.
I see. Okay. But there are 20 missing monks.
That is our estimate, yes. About a fourth of the population, include a fourth of our
Including
monastery,
Pilus.
including both Pilus and Longinus.
Dang it. Of course, as we were going to talk to them, I think that
There
was
are we do have some monks that if you wish to enter the monastery and speak with them,
are they Longinus
I'm
and
sure
what's
they
his
would be
name?
more than willing to Pilus and Longinus are both gone, and we do
Right.
not know where they are gone off to.
Okay. I see.
If they don't, yeah, that's the whole reason to be here is to talk to those two. So if you guys don't know where they're at, that's not as helpful.
I wish I could be of more service to you on this. What I can tell you is that the absence of Pilus and Longinus is distressing to us as we feel it might be to you.
Huh. Okay. Okay. Um, were some of the missing monks, were they here very recently?
In the village or
Yes.
in the monastery?
In the where we are now, in the
Monastery.
monastery. Thank you. Right.
I can tell you that I briefly spoke with one of the missing monks
Okay.
about 2 days ago.
I see. Um, I want to go on a quick aerial scouting mission just to see if I can see in the far away uh d d d d d d d d d distance. Can I see any caravan or horses um uh, traveling at speed toward somewhere, maybe with captives? If you all think it's a good idea, I will go around with uh, I'll go up with Gore Gore Gore
Gorgok?
Gorkek.
Gorgok.
Gorkek Gorkek Gorkek.
Pilot.
Great.
Yes. And I can scout around it and see what I see.
Okay. Do you want to put the like the whole big saddle apparatus back on, or do you want to just try and ride bareback?
That's going to be hard to ride bareback. The other thing I would say, great idea.
Yeah.
I would also focus so as you're doing your rounds, I would go a little bit more focused towards the direction of the castle
Sure.
Anybody have
in case.
tracking that we could look on the ground? I mean, it's possible it's like that Pied Piper, the villagers are all following a track somewhere.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
That would be survival. Whoever's got a great survival skill.
I don't have a great survival. I got a
Mine's
30.
mediocre at best.
Mine's not bad. Not good. Mine's bad. Uh, well, about the saddle, I guess I want to talk about that with Gor
Gorkek?
Gor Gor Gortek? No,
It's close.
Pilot.
Gor Gor. I'm sorry, Gorgek. Gorgek.
I think
Is
it's
that right?
Keck.
Go
Gorkek.
Gorkek.
Here, I'll put it in the. Here you go.
Ipecac.
Gorkek.
Hey,
Gorkek.
Les, I know there's going to be trackers in this village. If we don't have any good trackers, we can probably recruit somebody to help us
Yeah,
Yeah.
try to find
absolutely.
that. So yeah, let's do that.
Okay. As you guys
Good
are
thinking.
sort of like, if talking to Ambi, Ambi, is there good trackers? Becca's is like, I know a couple of good men who know these jungles like the back of their hand.
Mm.
When a person comes running up, and says, comes to you guys and says, your friend, he's been taken. Your friend has been taken.
Which friend?
The Mwangi friend, the one named for the
Mm.
Ravens.
Oh, three
And
ravens?
taken by who?
Taken by whom?
He says, come with me, you could see.
We're gonna haul ass over there.
All right, so he takes you a couple
Yeah.
of streets over. You guys run over there, and basically you see uh three ravens being and he's about it's you've gotten there. This is kind of what it looks like. So
Whoa.
three ravens has sort of being sort of whirled upwards. And it looks like, I mean, you can't really, so the images doesn't really do it justice, but you can't really see the creatures. Although, as you know from when you guys were by the monastery, there was those air elementals that were
Those huge,
swirling.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks like these may not be those two, but it looks of similar nature. He's being lifted up, and you can see three ravens is like, what's going on? What is this outrage? That kind of thing. But he's being lifted up in the air. As you get to this little clearing, you can see he's already about 60 feet in the air, 50, 60 feet. And he looks down at you guys and he looks as confused as you guys are, at which point you see him just boom, goes flying eastward at incredible speed. And you just
Whoa.
look over there and you can just see him just like poofs out, just completely gone towards the jungle.
Is that in the direction of the castle?
It's not really. It's more like in the direction of the jungle.
No, the
Okay.
river. Yeah.
So
So about the time you guys get over there and see this, you see the other two, Ambe and Hamena, come rolling up as Beckus comes like, oh yeah, I'm not as good a runner as I used to be, but you can see that this basically it just like fooms off towards the east.
wow.
At which point Hamena kind of looks at you and says, that is distressing. You should speak with some of my brothers and sisters at the monastery. I I I
Yeah,
have a
you guys had
theory.
two of these guys garden your monastery.
I have a theory as to what this might be, but it is not my place to say it. You should speak with the brothers and sisters.
Okay,
Oh
let's
my
go
God.
now then.
We
All
will
right.
go right away.
All right, so you head up towards the monastery, and this time you're accompanied by Hamena, and she leads you up there, straight up the path. You look up, and you can those of you who know what to look for the air
Mhm.
elementals, you can
Right.
see that the guardian elementals do not seem to be there anymore.
Huh.
I'll ask her what happened to the guardians that used to be right up here.
I don't know. Those guardians answered to Pilus and Longinus. They were their servants, and they are now not here. So perhaps they have gone with them to wherever it is that they have gone to.
And these
Hmm.
things took off almost due east.
Due east from the village, yeah,
Okay.
away from the monastery, not towards the monastery at all.
Right. Okay.
All right, so in this case, no Kayla. So the door, as you guys approach, the door opens on its own, and you see
Oh,
inside.
Arendar's gonna hold mock. Hey, Kayla, we're here again. We're not gonna listen to you. And then, oh, thank you for letting us in this time.
There's no Kayla. She told you, remember, Kayla is the one that
Yeah,
was
I
missing,
know.
is one of among the
No,
missing.
no, Arendar is going to just mock
Oh,
like
okay.
he's talking to her. And oh, thank you for letting us in this time.
Inside,
Just to prove a point.
once you get, I'm not sure the monk understands your point, but she does not say anything.
Yeah.
Inside, you see this large stone courtyard, and it's stone flagged courtyard, and you can see that this place. There are other people running around, but there are three monks that are standing there, and they say, "Welcome to the monastery of the Two Winds. We welcome you inside. Please sit with us so that we may converse and get to perhaps by doing so." Solve the mysteries that have confounded both the village and our monastery.
Yeah, you have to change your name. The two inns that are up front, they're gone now. So now it's just a monastery.
So you get there and they sit down, the monks sit down on the flags. Two are Mwangi, one is obviously not Mwangi. The male Mwangi says that his name is Muram. The female Mwangi says her name is Ayabu. And the man who is not a Mwangi says his name is Ganok, and that they welcome you to the Monastery of Two Winds, and that they wish that they may, hopefully and they say it is our hope that through conversation we may come to that we may understand what has befallen this area.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Uh,
so the first thing they do is Ayabu asks you, she's like, I'm one of the healers here. Uh can you help explain the malaise that struck this region with such virulence and caused such a lassitude among the not only the men and women of the village, but also the Sargavan usurpers?
Oh yeah, we can. Unless someone else wants to say, Arendar will
No, go
continue.
ahead, Arendar.
Please, please, please.
He's basically going to give him the whole history of, okay, there was a creature called Balance,
Yeah.
and then kind of explain what Balance was doing, but then say, this isn't the first creature we've seen in this area, and kind of give them the 30-second summed up version of the different versions of these creatures we've seen. So, like, what was the confusion one and the dwarves?
There
And then
was a
there was
confusion one,
and then there
madness
was
in
a
the
fire,
dwarves.
and then there was a fire one
Mm-hmm.
in the fire forest.
Yep. I think those are the three that you've seen
Okay, so
that you've
basically
met.
say Balance told us more than the other two we
Oh,
just
and there was the one that was disguised as an owl creature among the Fae.
Hmm.
So that's a fourth
okay.
one.
So basically say, yeah, the other three we were against and tried to kill and were limited to successful. Balance was actually decent to talk to and explained what these creatures are.
Okay.
But then
Yeah,
just
they
basically tell them that, yeah, Balance was all about making everyone get along, and it worked great until she got overwhelmed because a Sargavan army showed up, and then yeah, whenever you guys got all your stuff back is whenever she
Right.
dissipated and kind of got sent back to wherever she came from.
we had several villagers here that we noticed an extraordinary recovery that took place earlier today.
Hmm.
This must probably, if it's the way you describe it, must coincide with the death of this creature. They seem very interested. Muram especially seems like is of a scholarly bent, so he asks questions. Can you describe this creature? Do you feel that they were, do you feel like the owl-based one was also a changeling, like the madness one that you saw mimicked the gnome, and asks a bunch of questions. He's very interested because this is something they've never heard of before, and so it's of interesting
We
to them.
wish we had never heard of him before.
Well, if there's four,
There's
maybe there's
probably more.
more. I mean, Balance did say, you remember that, she
Yeah.
talked about her brothers and sisters.
Yeah. My guess is we're not done with whatever these creatures are doing, but they're causing
These
quite the ruckus in this whole general region.
Yeah, she referred to them as Trillids, and it was weird. She did. I can go back to the text if you want, but and find out exactly what she said. But I remember it was something like there was a door or a gate opened, and some of us emerged here. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's something happened that created some sort of portal between where these Trillids are from and the prime material plane. Now she didn't seem like she knew what. Sorry, there's a bunch of shit going on in my house. She didn't seem like she knew what that thing was. She just was one of those things
Right.
that she managed to take advantage of. But yeah, maybe there was some sort of crystallizing event that you guys don't know about.
Mm.
Anyway, they mentioned that they have seen disappearances, and including Kayla, including Pilus and Longinus, and if you they said it has come to our attention that you've lost one of your own to this, and that there is another group of Westerners, they would not refer them as Westerners. They would say Northerners,
Yeah.
non-Mwangi, who came here and they've also disappeared.
Yeah. And Kayla was lying about their Loudon. So
They get when you talk about Kayla lying, they become very interested. What did Kayla explain to you, and what did this other man say? And you basically, I'm
I tell
assuming
them the difference. Yeah.
yeah, that there was a different story and that kind of stuff. And it seems like it's Muram says, to Ayabu, like there's obviously Kayla was doing something. Well, it turns out what they'll say to you is, as I'm sure Hamena has talked to you about, the monks here follow two different paths, each one exemplified by one of the two brothers.
And the
Kayla
also.
was a follower of Pilus. And if you recall correctly,
That's the aggressive one.
that's the aggressive one. Longinus was the passive one. Kayla was a good, and they'll say this again. Kayla was a good monk, but she could be disagreeable. She did not have many comrades, but she was very devoted to the teachings of Pilus. None, and even Ganak, who hadn't said anything, he says none could. He's you could tell he's like I too am a devotee of Pilus, and none under no occasion would I have called to question Kayla's dedication to her studies and to our path.
Hmm.
That's when
Hmm.
you notice he's fairly well armed for a monk.
Mhm.
He's got some sort of stick on the floor next to him. He's got a quarterstaff strapped to him.
Mhm.
Even though the healer has the same similar quarterstaff, it's it's he. It looks like he admits he's like I also am a follower of Pilus, and none of us ever had called to question Kayla's dedication, although none of us could legitimately claim Kayla as a friend.
Hmm. Hmm.
Does not shock me. So
So it is Ganak again who speaks. So he asks you what they ask you what happened to your friend, and you describe. I'm assuming you describe him being, lifted
yeah,
up and
picked up
taken
by
away and that
two,
kind of stuff.
one or two
And
arrows. And
at this point, Ganak kind of steps in and says, "There's there is not much east of here in the jungle that would justify that would justify the creatures of the winds taking your friend, and we must assume at this point that those creatures have taken all the other villagers and monks who have disappeared. There's nothing out there except for one single thing. Uh, sometimes, let me rephrase this. Pilus, among his philosophical work, is also something of a scientist, and he finds that his scientific exploration
Hmm.
is best done. He does his best work when he is alone. So he has a place in the jungle where he embarks on his scientific research.
Hmm.
No one goes there. I have never been there, Ganak says, but it is due east of this place in the jungle. And he's like, perhaps it is time for your DM to show you the map.
we're like, yes, yes, he should.
So he says, look, it is due east of the village. And if your DM was on the right map level, he would be able to much more sooner show you where this place
Man,
is.
so hard to find
Good
great
DMs
DMs these days.
anymore.
We've got the most okayest DM.
Okay, it's fine. So basically, he says, look, if you go due east from here, and you go into the jungle, now it's not deep in the jungle, but it is pretty significantly in the jungle, and it's about 20 miles due east of the village of Eresh and the monastery. That is where Pilus's laboratory stands. It is the only thing out there. It is there. The
You're saying
jungle.
you can't miss it.
Well, no, I mean it's jungle. You can miss it easily. But if you stay going to the east, you won't miss it. What he'll say is that the jungle between here and there is it's a wild place, and he will also say that uh, there are ruins in the Screaming Jungle, ancient places that are overrun, and you should be careful around them because sometimes they are just simply empty, but sometimes the jungle. There are creatures in the jungle that find these places and defend them as if they are own.
Hmm.
But yes, uh, Pilus's research area is about 20 miles east of here in the jungle.
Okay.
Okay.
And we think Pilus is summoning the wind creatures.
Both Pilus and Longinus, it's not for nothing that we call this place the Monastery of Two Winds. Both Pilus and Longinus have have exercised the way they say it kind of weird. They say at one point they say something like exercise dominion over the four winds. And then they sort of so then they sort of start contradicting each other. It's like they do not exercise, Ganak says something like exercise dominion over the four winds, and then Iabu says no, 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 Longinus doesn't do that. He has made alliances with our friends of the sky, and Muram is like, well, basically he's saying the same thing, and then they get into like this. It's a weirdly philosophical discussion about whether or not using air elementals and creatures of the air. And they don't say air elementals, they say creatures of the air or our friends from the sky. They use a lot of different words, which leads you to believe that maybe it's not always elementals, that maybe it's other creatures that call the sky their home. But yeah, basically they're saying yes, both of them have exercise a certain level of control over elementals and other air-based creatures.
Hmm.
This is the monastery of the two winds, after all.
But you said the four wins. So what happened to the other two?
Two winds.
Earlier you said there was the four wins.
That was a mistake on your DM's part.
And
Okay.
the other two fucked off.
The other two fucked
The other
up.
two just we used to be the monster, the four wins, but two of them just
Two of the winds fucked off.
So now it's just the two wins.
So, and you've heard the monks, you've heard several people refer to Pilus and Longinus as the Wind Lords. So, in addition to being the heads of the monastery. So, but yeah, and so conversation kind of dies down a little bit, and then they sort of look at you, and Maram says, um, "What is it you will do? What is it that you believe that you should do?"
Okay, we got to go up north, but we need your two bosses to do that. So I guess we're gonna head east to see if we can figure out what's going on, and then we'll make a decision from there, which should scare you more than it sounds like it should, because I'll be involved in that decision-making process.
Yeah, and my brother sometimes
And my brother.
can
So
be an abrupt decision maker. Um,
we're good at
uh,
making decisions, just the consequences may or may not be what we.
so they will tell you that as much as it pains them not to do so, they've all discussed it, and they feel that their duty, they feel like that they're not going to follow you into the jungle. They're going to stay here in the monastery. It's what they have been commanded to do, and Pilus and Longinus did not tell them that, did not disavow them from those orders. So they feel like that their charge is still here at the monastery. But they do wish you all of the luck of the two wins.
And say we pat them on the shoulder and say, "You guys are NPCs, so we really didn't expect anything more than that." So
Right. But they will say, like, look, our duty is here, but we sincerely hope that you find our masters and bring them back to us safely. When you talk about castle, one of them refers to the flaming castle.
yeah,
Uh, and so Maram refers to the flaming castle. At which point, Ganak looks over and was like, "You know of the flaming castle?" Blah blah blah. Basically, they admit that one of the things that every new monk that comes here is taught is that they must never approach the flaming castle. It is a cursed place, and that there is nothing there that any monk should desire. In fact,
and none of us are monks, so that's why we're approaching it.
well, they basically go as like one of the things that they taught us is that it represents, um, Ganak will say, Pilus has taught us that it represents a a temptation, not only a physical temptation for exploration, but um, a psychological temptation because it is supposed to be filled with riches and all these other things.
I
It
feel
is
like
it
that's
is
how we talk to our kids about White Castle.
Yes,
it is a temptation that you must not
is
take.
yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah, Dairy Queen's for me. Every time I go near a Dairy Queen, it's like, everything inside me turns upside down. But basically, Ganak says Pilus has taught us that it is a temptation to be resisted, and that one of our first lessons is to inculcate the idea of never going there. Maram and Niabu, who are obviously dedicated to Longinus, basically say we see it as the folly of those who do not have the discipline to control themselves, that the fire burns all of those with greed. If you are greedy and you seek out the riches inside, if you are tempted by what's there, that the fire is there to burn all of those things, those people away. It is a punishment, not a temptation. So they argue a little bit about that too.
Good. So, okay.
But both of them, uh,
You did hear my story about we tamed a whole fire forest, right? Just saying.
you guys aren't monks from here, so I mean, you're not
No.
subject to their rules.
Nope.
And they totally get that. And they would never, and you get the impression that they would never try to subject you to this, right? They're like, look, you can do what you want, and we hope that you save our friends and our masters. But ultimately, you're not monks of the two winds. And Ono totally gets this, right? Being a monk is a self-discipline more than anything. And these guys seem to embody it. And you're not monks here, so you don't have to obey our strictures. That is our job to do.
Yeah, discipline's not my strong suit, so yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, they would probably disagree with you. They say you were probably disciplined in a different way, right? From a murder standpoint, maybe not as disciplined,
We are
but then,
very disciplined.
but yeah, I mean, for years learning how to train to fight, and how to work with armor, and how to work in a team. These are disciplines of their own. Everyone has those things that they do.
Okay.
So they,
So, well,
they don't consider you a monk, and they certainly do consider you one of their monks, but they would not denigrate your skills, just because that you are lawless in certain areas.
but we do have a teenage monk with us, so that makes us kind of at least halfway up on the
Yeah,
scale.
they were like a little they're actually very curious about Ono. They ask him about the monastery from which he comes, and what is the rule there. And I think they mean it in the sense of like the Benedictine rule, for those of you who know anything about medieval religious history. The rule of the Benedictines was basically their code of conduct, and so they refer to their own code of conduct as a rule. And Ono, I assume that your monastery had a rule as well.
Yes.
And they threw it right out whenever they sent him with us.
Well,
Yes, well,
you got to figure Ono's on some sort of weird, twisted Rumspringa with a bunch of murderers. Um, that he's learning the ways of the thing, and eventually you will do something that's so horrendous and so terrible that it will chase Ono right back to the monastery, where he will live out his days in peace and in the company of the fellow monks. What is the name of your monastery again? Your
Monastery of Untwisting Iron.
Untwisting Iron. That's right. So they're curious because they've never heard of the Monastery of Untwisting Iron, and so they are curious. They ask you about the rule. They ask you about the disciplines. They ask you why they may have seen you riding a wyvern around over a village. What's that about? Is that part of the thing that you guys do?
The more advanced monks get a wyvern.
Hey, I can't wait to hear the explanation for this one.
No, the wyvern is our ally, and my monastery tries to befriend animals and um, recognize their dignity and intelligence and so
Very.
on, and as well as their fighting prowess. You
That's
see.
something that they would be interested in. They find that interesting because that animals really don't figure into their monastery stuff. Sorry, I had to put this down for a second. My phone charger is acting like a idiot, and it may be broken. So yeah, they're interested in this kind of stuff because they hadn't heard anything. So you guys can talk a little bit about that. In the meantime, after, depending on, do you have questions for the monks?
Where the
What,
women at?
please?
Well, there's several. I mean, they have monks of both male and female persuasions, but that's yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean.
well, the closest you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have is down in the village. But I mean,
I
if
don't want the village people.
oh, oh, don't sell yourself short. Closet army guy, I think.
Um,
So, beyond where the women at, other questions maybe for the monks of the monastery?
uh,
Not unless they can, give us any secret handshakes or anything like that to,
Well,
get
no,
us when we're
they appreciate what you guys have done for the people of the village, and they there's a like most sort of arrangements of like this, there's a bit of a symbiotic relationship between the monastery and the village itself. It was only because of the Malays that they became a little bit trepidatious, but that didn't keep them from trying to assist with what was going on. They were just unsure of what it might be.
Yeah, I asked them if they want to laugh, and then I tell them what the commander told us they were trying to do, what their plans were.
So they find that very interesting
And then I
because,
laughed because it's like, because six of us pretty much put a stop to that. So they thought that they could take all you guys out.
well, it's yeah, and they don't laugh, but certainly they find it a bit presumptuous that they feel like they could have done this. However, it's the word I'm looking for. It's not
Hmm.
entirely, we don't. Had they been at full strength, I mean, we only have 80 monks here,
Hmm.
and like I said, a quarter of them have disappeared under mysterious circumstances that we can't find them. So 60 people, we're good at fighting, a lot of us. But we may have been depending. I don't know what their numbers were.
A lot less now.
And for that, they are appreciative. We have no love. So they're like, we have no love for the Sargavans and never have. But historically, no Sargavan has ever come out here. There was no reason to. The Sargavans stay to the west. I mean, they stay in their places, and they stay in Sargava proper, and the Screaming Jungle and the valleys, the river valleys belong to us, and always have. There's been no reason uh, one of them, several of them say, I have not seen a Sargavan since I came here, and took my vows to the monastery. So to see them it was a shock for us. And honestly, we don't know what would have happened, but it sounds like that they had a plan.
It was kind of a shock to us too when they took our home from us. So it's kind of what they've been
Yeah,
doing lately.
yeah, but it's yeah, they don't find it funny. They certainly are a bit taken aback when you go when it's like that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to take the whole place and then force. Then when you tell them that they wanted to force Pilus and Longinus to go to Castle Korstull and remove the fire so that they could loot the place, it's blasphemy. It's tantamount to heresy. And so, Ganok is like, Pilus would never submit to such things, and the others are like, Longinus would show them the error of their ways by his passivity and stuff like that. So it's that kind of thing. But yeah, they do seem taken aback that this was ultimately the goal, and they do seem appreciative of your role in defanging that.
Hmm. So, because if anybody else has questions, go ahead and knock yourself out. I'm ready to just head east now.
We
So
needed to go
I'll let you
east.
guys take the rest of the questions.
Yeah,
Do we-
I tried. They just don't get me.
So wait, Pilus is in this eastern monastery.
Well, no, it's not an Eastern monastery. So what it is, so Pilus does scientific research in addition to his philosophical sort of more academic pursuits.
Gotcha.
However, he finds and nobody's really know for sure, but he finds that he wants to be alone, not with his brother when he does this research. And so he created a oasis of sorts, I guess, in the jungle away from the monastery so that he can conduct his scientific inquiries in private and in peace. That's really the only thing out there. Now, well, rephrase. There's a lot of jungle out to the east of Eresh, and a lot of it is not inhabited by people. Some of it may very well be inhabited by people, but to their knowledge, there's really nothing inhabited in the 20 miles between here and Pilus's lab.
Okay. Um, but we think that it is Pilus who is summoning the air to kidnap Muffin.
That's the direction that Three Weeping Ravens went. Due east from the when he was lifted up into the air and shot off like a bullet directly to the east.
Toward this how should I say school or
Lab.
They're more like a lab, so it's,
would,
but
would
maybe not a lab proper. I mean, Pilus isn't like an alchemist where he's
right,
mixing things together, he's doing weird experiments, that kind of stuff. It's more like a philosophical lab. It's part of the
right,
is part these two. So the two brothers are are of different philosophical bents, but this is a monastery. They are philosophers first and
yeah.
foremost. But
Um,
so when they talk about science, they're probably talking about something akin to practical philosophy,
I got
like
you.
taking philosophical precepts and figuring out how to bring them into a practical reality,
Gotcha.
as opposed to if how many angels could dance on the head of a pin. It's like how can we use philosophical precepts for the benefit, for example, of the people of Eresh, and how could we transform philosophy into physical action, that kind of thing.
I see.
Those kind of scientific pursuits.
Got you. So it's like a chamber of philosophy, uh, planning, maybe. I don't know.
Potentially, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
What was that, Titus?
I sorry. Uh
Did you put an elbow on the keyboard or something?
yes.
Okay. All right, good.
All
All
good.
right. So, with no other questions for the monks, they bid you farewell. They bid you good luck, and they are hopeful. They ask that if you return this way, please tell us what transpires, especially if you are able to rescue or free or encounter our masters. We hope that they're like basically we hope that your adventure brings them back to us eventually.
We shall do our best.
A-
Um,
After that, you guys go back down in the village, and you're welcomed back by Beckus. It's now closing in on nighttime, so he says you shouldn't. There's absolutely zero reason for you guys to cross the river and go into the jungle at night. Stay here in the village. Stay with us, please. We're going to have a little feast, a victory feast, and you guys will be the guests of honor.
honored, humbled. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, and they do have a huge victory feast, and you guys are absolutely the guest of honor. You're taking the remaining members of the council. Talk about there's some periods where they come around the fire. They have a fairly big bonfire, a non-body bonfire this time, regular bonfire,
Yeah, yeah.
and several people come up and talk about your exploits during your individual exploits during the battle. Andrew's, Titus's power over the fires
Artillery.
of the elements, destroyed our enemies in great bundles, and they fell scorching to the ground. And so they talk about it. Oh, and Vondrum's drawing forth the volcanic lava from the sky, took down the Chilaxian wyvern riders and destroyed them before they could ever hurt any of us. That kind of thing. So there's a lot of that. There's a local wine. You suspect it's not made of grapes, but it is quite tasty that they share around, and quite intoxicating and refreshing. There's plenty of food. There's also a bit of lamentation, though, as they talk about those who have fallen, those who are disappeared. Do you guys share with Beckus and those guys any of what your plans are?
Let them know not to despair too much that our wyvern ate a lot of those corpses, so they were not for naught.
And the Wyvern ate Robin's minstrels,
There was
and there was
much
much
rejoicing.
rejoicing.
Yay.
Yay!
Um, I don't think there's a need to hide what we're doing. That yeah, we're just going east to see if we can find the ones that have disappeared. And
Okay. So then, when they tell you, um, you guys, the festival goes on through the bulk of the night, and eventually you return to that hut to get some sleep. The next morning, Beckus is waiting for you, and he has some things for you. For each of you, he has a small pouch that, if you have a quick smell, you're like, "Whoa, it's got a funk to it." And he tells you, and he gives one to each of you, and he tells you that these are the material contained within is an unguent that helps to keep insects away. The insects of the jungle can be voracious, and this will, if you smear this on your exposed skin, it will help keep those insects away. He also,
everyone else too.
I'm sorry,
And everyone else too.
potentially. Well, he says the nose gets used to it.
So he gave us some off.
Pretty much it.
Deet, yeah. So
Yeah,
we
deep woods off.
we call it the deep woods off. So he gives you that. And theoretically, these little nugget, I mean, they're baseball sized sort of packets of this unguent, so it's a fair amount. Theoretically, you could throw it at an insect, and if it got on it, it might chin it back. Like if a giant spider was coming after you,
Huh,
you chuck this stuff on them, it would certainly think twice about attacking you.
I see. Okay.
Second, they make sure that you have plenty of food and fresh water. They actually said that there's a certain herb that grows nearby that they've put in the water that will keep it fresh tasting. They're like, we don't know how long you're going to be out there, but it will keep the water fresh tasting for several days. They also give you a small packet of those same herbs that says, if you she goes, I they go, we don't know how well Northerners' constitutions are when it comes to drinking local water out of the streams. Sometimes people from the north that we have encountered in the past can have a significant reaction to drinking water straight out of jungle streams. But if you put these herbs in it, it will freshen it, and it will make it palatable to your tastes.
Okay. Appreciate
Essen-
it.
Essentially, it kills microorganisms in the water.
I
Okay.
have create water as a cantrip, so that's not really an issue for us. I mean,
Okay. They didn't know.
Be
Um,
grateful. Jesus.
I just mean they don't need to waste it on us. They can save it for somebody else because
Oh, they have tons. Don't worry. And finally, for each of you, they bring out a small gourd with a little wood carved wooden cork in it, which they say is when it's a concoction that they make here that, when drunk, revives and refreshes even the most weary person. It is a potion of cure moderate.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then they wish you all the best of luck in the jungle. Please, and they ask you, please return to Eresh, successful, so that we may toast your success again.
We shall do our best.
You guys just want to see the wyvern again, don't you?
So, all right, so that's a question. So, did you guys didn't bring your horses? Your horses are back in Sequin, if I recall correctly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the wyvern?
He's
I
gonna
mean,
ride it.
are you going to so Ono, are you going to fly above the jungle canopy and sort of look for danger?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's my job.
Oh,
Now you've some beefy backup.
Yeah.
well,
Okay, fine.
I don't want to intrude. I can,
Oh no, I'm giving you shit because you look like you enjoy it.
I mean,
No,
I,
we can
I,
tag team for sure. Beefy backup. I like that.
all right, cool. I, I don't, I guess the Wyvern has a minimum and a maximum flying speed.
So yes, a wyvern's fly speed is 60 feet per round, but they are not super maneuverable.
Okay.
So in a straight line, you're good.
But I don't wish to
Or some
outpace.
wide curves.
Right. That's fine. I don't want to be hanging on to a uh flying fluttering bat. I want to be have a sturdy mount up there in the air, a stable mount. Um I don't want to outpace my party who is laboring through the jungle though.
Yeah, so a fly speed also moves at 60 feet, but has better maneuverability than
Right,
than a thing. So if Titus is considering casting fly on himself,
right.
which lasts for 1 minute per level, by the way, then he'll be able to maneuver better. But a
Uh,
wyvern could fly for a while.
yes,
So
yeah,
you guys get into a bit of a kerfuffle here. How are you going to? I mean, the
right.
rest of you can't fly at all. So
Right.
I mean, are you gonna truck
I
through there? Are you gonna send the
That's
wyvern ahead to try and find the place?
Well, how many can the wyvern hold on its back?
Just one.
just one. They're not
They're
huge.
not big.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, they're big, but they're not
So the
major.
rest of us will be walking.
Yeah, the rest of us be walking.
I can cast fly when necessary on other people.
uh,
But for the most part, yeah, we're just gonna walk.
hmm.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have Titus or Ono up above to kind of direct us to areas that might be a little less vegetation or,
Yeah, they're
easier to
Overwatch.
traverse. But yeah, the
Well,
rest of us are just gonna walk through.
uh, um, I don't want to make you guys trudge through while I am happily soaring above in the fresh air, and you're down there fighting bugs.
Oh no, we're the eyes in the sky, and
Yeah.
if we can share the far glass as it becomes necessary.
All
Yeah,
Uh,
right,
you're
if you're familiar with
Overwatch.
that, if you're
Yeah.
not, we can
I'm good with
update.
that. Okay, all right. Ono is very humble. Very considerate. Considerate. It's a it in a time of war, it feels a bit quaint, even
There's a
quaint.
bit of yeah. He's a gentlemanly warrior, our Ono.
So
You know what?
anyway,
No one's ever said the twins are gentlemanly warriors.
Yeah,
well,
stay up in Overwatch so I can kill shit without having you get in the way.
So yeah,
um,
so we just go through yeah, with them up top, taking turns, just kind of,
great.
scouting for us and making sure we're on the right path to the east, and the rest of
Okay.
us are just gonna trudge on the ground. I'll probably be first, probably have the Bondi behind me, and then
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. So Titus can cast Fly Spell, and he can cast it on multiple people, but it only lasts for Titus. What's your level?
9.
9. So your ninth level, that means it'll last for 9 minutes. So you can move essentially at 60 feet. 60 feet per round is 10 feet per second. In 9 minutes, there is 540 seconds
Yeah.
times 10, which means $5,400, which means you can go about a mile per spell.
right.
Um,
But like I said,
Ono,
most
on
of
the other
us,
hand, riding Gorkak, um, goes of 60. If you do the thing at 60 feet per second is just under 7 miles an hour. So a flight speed. So theoretically, even though Titus with your fly spells, you wouldn't be able to get too far in a couple of hours, or in 3 hours, theoretically. Um, Ono, as long as he was comfortable uh, leaving his party members behind, could ride the Wyvern due east and potentially find the lab while you guys were moving forward.
I
Okay.
was wondering if I should at least go find it, then circle back and say, hey, it's this way.
Is it easier to traverse along the river? Because I was just noticing we're kind of going parallel with the river. If it's like it is here, where the forest isn't right up against it the whole way, might be quicker journey if there is a little bit of a plains or grassland
It's
around the
possible.
river to just go that way and not try and go through the middle of the jungle.
It's possible. I mean, yeah, I mean, theoretically. You don't know what's going to be in that river valley, though.
No, but
Hmm.
like I said, we got to walk there. It's going to take us about a day to get there, probably if it's 20 miles, a
Yeah.
couple days maybe.
20 miles. Yeah, probably a day and a half.
So we'll have to camp one time overnight on the way there.
You remember
Yeah.
Vondi has 25-foot movement too, so gotta chuck that back a little bit.
We're
Or
not, we're not
Slower.
gonna we're not gonna especially if we're going through the forest, we're not gonna do a normal base rate anyway. I mean, that's wishful thinking that unless there's a road there, we're not gonna keep that pace.
And as far as the ground goes, I'll go ahead so I can stealth and scout.
All right. So so couple of questions. Are you going to send Ono on the Wyvern to truck out there and see what he can see as far as this lab or philosophical area that
Not a bad
Pilus is?
idea, but the only issue I got with that is we know we're dealing with air elementals and they move a lot faster than he does, and we don't know how many of them there are. So
Huh.
he could get in
That's a
trouble with multiple air elementals there. We know at least there's two huge ones that there's no way he could outrun.
Right.
One assumes that based on what the conversation that you had with the monks, that both Pilus and Longinus have, and they what on one hand they described as alliances, on the other hand domination or control over creatures of the air. So one assumes that that may be air elementals, but it could be other creatures as well,
Right.
or various sizes of air elementals, or
So
various numbers of air elementals.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind him doing that. I'd just be nervous about him getting out there and getting in trouble with the rest of us not there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And now are you going to go directly towards the lab through the jungle, or are you going to follow the river valley?
What did the monks recommend? I mean, they're more familiar with this area than us.
They didn't recommend anything specific, although they did said that to find I mean, if you wanted to find Pilus's lab, it is due east of the monastery.
So we
And that
probably,
didn't sound like it was an accident.
yeah, so probably we'll just go straight there. That way we can't miss it.
All right. Um, Ona will not fly far ahead.
All right, so you are gonna fly the Wyvern. You're gonna fly Grugak up
Yeah,
above the jungle canopy where your friends are down below.
correct.
All right, so Ono above.
Don't
Titus, are you gonna? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just say don't let the wyvern poop while he's flying. Directly overhead. That
I'll
could
be
be like fatal.
Yeah.
He's been eating a lot of Sargavans too. So, um,
Mm,
all right. So Titus, are you going to fly periodically as well?
Absolutely. And invoke message as necessary
great.
or periodically, whatever.
What's the range on message? Would you be able to stay
It's
in
pretty
touch with
small.
Ono?
It's pretty small.
Probably not. It's not that
I think it's less than
far.
200 feet.
It's about almost 200 feet.
Okay, 200 feet. 1 second.
I mean, 190 feet if you want to be exact.
And as we fly, we can just fly not far
But
above treetops.
So
we would
mature.
still have the whatchamajigger far glass, so we can use it for hearing or seeing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Excellent.
So
So, generally speaking, from a jungle canopy standpoint, basic jungle canopy uh, starts out, younger growth starts out between 40 and 60 feet. Your average dense canopy, which is largely what you're dealing with here, is between 80 and 120 feet high. Now, this is an old place. So, in certain areas, you will have primeval jungle area in which you'll have emergent trees and these ancient places that will reach up above 150 feet. But to your point of view, Titus, if you're on the ground and Ono is on the Wyvern and you've got a message range of 190 feet or whatever it is,
yeah,
depending that he's not too far forward, you may still be able to talk to him on message. He won't
correct,
immediately be out of the thing.
correct.
Yeah. All right, cool. And then when you're flying, the difference would be that you have to talk to the ground.
Unless, or yeah, I mean, if I needed to talk to Ono.
Yeah. One of the things about Ono is that he's going to, in order to stay close to you guys moving on the ground, he's going to have to do a lot of whirling around because
Yeah,
wyverns can't hover.
right. Well, we're gonna
Whereas Titus flying can. Sorry, Eric, go ahead.
So I would say to Ono, I have a far glass. I'll be up in the air frequently because between the spell and my wings of heaven, I can rise above the canopy regularly.
great.
If there is something of import to pass along, give us this signal. And I can use the far glass
Okay.
to listen.
I
Uh,
shall.
so from
Okay,
vision to listening in on what you have to say.
great. Yes, I
Okay.
agree. I
All right.
agree.
And then on the ground, Wraith takes point, and then the rest are 25, 30 feet behind him, moving through the jungle.
We think with the 41 stealth, we're not even gonna know where he's at. So
All right. So you guys just sort of like crush ahead and hope for the best.
Well, I
and
always like
hopefully
to
stay
hide
glimpse.
right behind Wraith or Arendar, either one.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool, cool. All right. So, all right, you take off. And you get across the river. There actually some of the villagers they have along the river, and it's a big river. It's pretty wide. I wouldn't say quite Mississippi size, but certainly half the Mississippi, and fairly fast moving too. So, I mean, they've got various like rafts and things that they pole across and they take you across. Except for Ono, who I'm assuming you take the time to strap on the saddle and you go up in the air and you begin flying around. I need another handle animal check from you when you get a moment.
Sure. No problem. Oh boy. Do I gotta do handle
Not
animal?
always. I just want to make a check just to have it in hand in case something bad happens to you.
Gotcha. Here we go. I roll
16, no problem. All right, so I do want to point out to you also that the saddle is of Chilaxian make. It's high quality leather,
mhm,
but there is also a holster on the saddle, which
mhm.
to your eyes is meant to hold a lance.
Okay.
Do you want to get one of the Chilaxian lances from the ground? Or there was one that was undamaged that you could retrieve. Do you want to have that lance?
No, I don't actually know. Um uh, oh no, it's not Lancelot. Uh
Can he put a thermos with holy water in it or
yeah.
something?
Sure. Set of boots. Yeah, okay, so you're not gonna bring the lance with you.
No.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you guys take off, and you're moving through the jungle, and everything seems to be working out okay. The jungle is it's a tough place. This is thick jungle. And more than once, you get the vibe that maybe something's watching you, and that kind of stuff. You hear a lot of animal activity. It's jungle, right? There's also evidence periodically, every once in a while, you'll come across like a standing stone that's just sort of like a carved stone that's just sitting out there in the middle of the jungle, and you can they're not but it's old, so the carvings are faint. You can't make out, and they look like nothing you've seen before, and they're sometimes these stones are broken and tumbled down and stuff like that, but there's definitely like activity has been out here. The Screaming Jungle is an old place, and there were many things here before what's there now.
See.
But as you keep going, everything seems to be okay. As you're moving through the jungle, you're not accosted by anything or anything like that. Titus, you and your Farglass and Ono on Gorgok, basically, as you guys are looking to the east, you get about, oh, I don't know, halfway to the east, maybe 10 miles. It's most of the day that you guys are moving through and trying to keep track of the people on the ground. When you both see something quite dramatic in the distance. Now, this is a close-up version, but you both see this thing in the distance that catches your eye.
Yikes. I would catch
Mushroom cloud.
So as
Wow.
you guys are flying over the thing, there's a huge thunderhead in the distance that you guys who
Wow.
are flying up. You guys down in the jungle, you don't see any of this. But those of you above, off in the distance, and it looks like to be about 10 miles away, due east, potentially directly above the area that you're going to try and find, and it's a huge thunderhead. And while you see lightning strikes every once in a while going from the thunderhead to the ground, you don't hear any thunder. All you see is this sort of roiling, storm that seems to be, directly over what you think, at least from this point of view, is directly over the area that you're headed into.
Oh, jeez.
Can't wait.
They're ready for us.
Yeah. We should have brought our water wings or something.
Yes.
It's a huge storm, and it does so. And one of the things that you notice is it does seems very very localized, and it's also not moving in any direction. So you guys know from variety of you guys know from basic weather that storms move with the wind. And while there's some breeze here, that is, you guys are flying around, there's no real wind. But regardless what wind there is, should be pushing this storm. Well, it should be to the
Somewhere.
southeast. Most of the prevailing, because of the Screaming Jungle does this big heat plume, most of the prevailing uh, weather moves southwest
Mhm.
towards the ocean. This isn't moving at all. It doesn't seem to be making any thunder, although you can clearly see, if you look at the thunderhead, you can clearly see that it's arcing lightning down to the ground.
We see the Eye of Mordor.
You don't see any eye of mortar, but it's just a rel amongst it's just a weird meteorological thing that's sitting above the jungle and just sitting there. It's not doing anything.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go there.
Well, it's still
Do that.
pretty far off, and your people down in the on the jungle floor are still moving at sort of
A normal
uh,
pace.
a normal pace. But Titus, do you let them know about this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very communicative.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so Titus calls down to you guys as he's up there checking it out. He's like, "There's a huge storm directly in the path of where we're going. It might be directly above what we think might be this place where Pilus is,
Um,
or his laboratory is, for the lack of it."
I want to ask my wyvern, Grogwek, have you ever seen this storm be, be, before?
Okay, you don't speak
You can't speak
Draconic
Draconic.
or
I don't have Draconic.
yeah, you don't.
But we can message.
Oh, you can message. So you ask him. So you tell Ono to say words in this order with this
Yes,
pronunciation. All right.
please.
So very crudely, you're asking, Grugak, have you ever seen such a thing? And he's like, something like this? No, I have never seen a storm of this nature. Storms move with and he's talking back to you in fairly, and he's like, storms move with the wind, and this storm does not. I have seen. He pauses momentarily, and he says, I have seen storms in Cheliax, but those were not naturally occurring. Those storms were done at the behest of devils in service to the aristocrats of West Crown and the capital, Agorian. I
What?
have never seen such like this that wasn't at the behest of some greater power.
I see. Do you happen to know why they would need to summon a storm? What does the storm do?
Let me. Maybe he would.
Great
Maybe he
question.
did.
It just sounds like a dumb question, but it's a great question.
It is a great question.
Some
He doesn't know why someone would do such a thing. He can only tell you that the devils that provoked such meteorological things in Cheliax did so at the behest of their masters, who were universally mages and priests of the aristocratic class of Agorian.
Uh,
Um, he does not know why they would need such a thing. He assumes there was some magical aspect to it that either creatures of the tempest, or they harnessed the lightning captured therein for their own purposes.
well, it's obviously they need a vast source of power. So, okay. Thank you, Go Gorgek. Thank you.
Yeah, he apologized. He says, "I'm sorry, oh no, but I am my knowledge of the powers of magic and the creatures thereon is limited.
Well,
I am a warrior and a cavalier, not a mage."
well, my cavalier friend, we're gonna find out what's going on because that's
Indeed.
where we're going. All right.
Indeed, I shall follow you into it, and we will
Uh,
see what creatures desire such power for themselves, and see if
maybe
they cannot be eaten.
maybe we'll find some foes worthy of your power, Gorgoek, and maybe you'll find something to eat as well.
He he's When you mention food, he says, "I have not eaten all day, and I can tell you that I'm working up a powerful hunger.
Okay.
I will hunt tonight in hopes of finding big game in this unearthly jungle."
I see. Well, good hunting. Anyway, let us proceed with our friends. And I guess we're following a gradual circular path. Just
Yeah,
so
I mean,
maybe.
you and Grugok have to or Gorgok have to sort of like, you can't hover, so you gotta have to kind of like you've been kind of like doing figure eights kind of to stay in range and stuff like that. Titus can hover, and he sometimes will hover and hold the far glass and kind of take a look around and that kind of stuff, and you can hear him transmitting over message and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Cool. Cool. Very good.
All right, the rest of you are down below. Oops. Sorry. The rest of you are down below and are trudging through the jungle. And as you're Titus, I'm assuming that you are in the air for most of this, but the rest of you guys are sort of trudging through the jungle in your fashion. Wraith, give me a quick perception check.
21.
21. All right. So you're trudging through the jungle and you've come across several instances where it looks like old stone ruins have sort of collapsed here. Everything is very old and quite dilapidated in many ways. You're not it's this is an old place. But as you're sort of moving forward, you come across something that's very interesting. And let's first of all, let's do this. See if this works. Probably not. Of course not. Why would this work? Nothing seems to work ever. All right, I'm gonna just give Arendar a bunch of. Why does it do that? I do not know why it does that.
Hmm.
All right, here we go. And that didn't work.
Okay,
All right.
I see something.
You see something, but nobody else does. So
I see, I
I
see
gotta,
something.
you see something too?
Yeah.
Yeah, our characters have the same controller, so yeah.
I
Right.
Okay.
see nothing.
Usually what one of us can see, the other one can see.
Jungle underground ruins.
Yeah, don't read that.
Sorry.
All right, hold on.
Oh,
I'm gonna put something in here real quick. Sorry, I thought this would work better than it has, so I'm just gonna put a little campfire over here.
Yeah, I've
And
done that
you,
before. Have time light issues, and I just throw torches everywhere.
yeah, in this case, I'm hoping that this will work. Let's see if this is good. We'll do it by all players. This should work. Boing. There we go. Okay, so you guys are moving through the jungle, and you can see, in this case, a couple of things. Uh, so one, you see, Wraith, as you're moving forward, you see at first what looks to be some sort of, and it could be the ruins of some sort of building. You've also kind of looked around, and you can see that there are these like domes made of cobbled together stones that come up above the ground about 3 feet. That's these things over here. And they come up, they're sort of like little domes that are quite broad across. I mean, you can see they're probably 30 feet, almost maybe 40 feet across. And they come up about 3, 4 feet, and they seem to be these little domes of stones that are interlocking stones that are put together. You can see there's another one over to the other side. They put you in mind of charcoal kilns. Back in Gate Pass, there were people who were you guys knew that were charcoal manufacturers, and they would go out into the plains where the wood was available, and they would carve out and they would cut down trees, and they would carve these almost pits in the ground that they would line with stones, and they would create these stone domes over the top of them, and they would feed wood in there. They would start fires in there and feed wood in there, and then seal them up so that the wood, ultimately, the fires would turn the wood into charcoal, and then they would take the charcoal and they would bring it back for blacksmiths and stuff like that. These look like those, although crudely built compared to the other ones that you'd heard of. But what's more, Wraith, as you move forward and kind of take a look at what's going on over there, you see something inside. It looks like it's inside one of the buildings, like right over here. One second. Right over in this area. Can you see that there?
No.
There's like way up here. Well, the walls are sort of blocking it. If
I
let's
can see a part of red circle, yes.
yeah, let's
But
I'm
most of
gonna
it is blacked out.
what if we moved you to right here? Would that help? Probably not.
No, it's the
Uh,
torch that actually shows what you can see.
okay,
Yeah.
How are the
let's.
walls? Are they full height walls? Or are they just
No, they're broken walls, but they do obscure vision. So I moved the torch a little bit. You can see right over there. There seems to be a large stone or something, sort of on the floor of what may have been this building.
Was I not invited?
You're up above the canopy. You can't see this.
Oh, okay.
You're up there with Ono looking at the
Gotcha.
storm.
Okay.
So you rolled a 21 perception. You're sort of peering through the jungle, and it's hard to see very well, but you do kind of get a quick peek. And when you do you kind of wend around a little bit, look over this, look over there, and when you get a clear look, you're taken aback by what you see because it looks like this.
Okay.
Ag.
It looks like a creature there, dressed with a lot of. It looks like
How
some
much
sort of
Zach?
Like a lizard
some sort
man.
of lizard creature,
Let's do
uh,
that.
tied to what looks to be one of these carved stones that you guys have come across,
All right.
in the floor of that room, tied securely. He's got a lot of what looks to be ritual scarification all over his body, pale eyes, and it looks like his mouth has been gagged or bound with something. But as far as you can tell, the creature is very much alive.
That's all right. Wraith can fix that.
What was the lizard creature's name?
The one that Errol told you about,
Yeah.
Ursik. Ursik,
Okay.
he referred to him as Ursik, Ursik of the Reed, he called him. He said
Okay.
he was a really good shaman, had a great way with nature and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, do you shoot him?
No,
Why?
Oh, okay.
I'll move up towards him,
Okay.
continuing stealth.
All right. Give me a stealth roll. Or did you roll stealth already? I can't see.
I
Oh,
did
41.
roll
Okay.
stealth. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So you're moving with a 41, moving through. You're trying to get close to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, unless he's told us anything, we're still trudging up non-stealthily about 30, 40, 50 feet behind him. So
Yeah.
I can just see Arendar's. So Arendar's talking about. So anyway, that guy said he worked for Lord Borbert. What was that about? I don't know. Yeah. There's talking. Whatever happened to Titus? Did he fly up there yet? Oh yeah, he had something about a storm. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. All right, so you get closer, and yeah, you can see. You're. Let me take a look here. You're pretty sure that the creature doesn't see you, but it's definitely when you get closer, he definitely looks alive. Um, but he's tied really securely to that stone.
Yeah.
And it's just like sort of sitting there. His eyes sort of looks like he may have been there for a while. His eyes are sort of like he's not really focused on anything. Probably nothing has happened. You don't think anything may have happened around him very much.
I'm gonna try to move up towards him.
Okay. All
If
right. So
I can get,
which way are you gonna go?
let's see, go around this way
Okay.
and then,
All right. So when you pass over, so you can see a couple of things. One, as you sort of go around this area here, that is a crevice. Now, as you look down there, it's the floor of this building has collapsed downward, and you can see there's rubble down there. But you can also see that it's stone floors down there. Whatever has collapsed down there, there's maybe a second level down there
okay.
because there does seem to be a basement to this building at least, where you have several instances where there have been collapses. Second, when you get that close, are you still stealthing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to react to you. He's still sort of. So the guy, although you can definitely tell he's definitely alive right now. You can see he's definitely breathing. He's alive, but he seems to be sort of just in general, just sort of staring. Why is this doing this? Oh, I see what the why it's doing is because I'm not smart. So he seems to be sort of looking in this direction,
Yeah.
but just like he's not really looking. He's just like it looks like he's been there a long time. So He's been in the jungle
The
for a while. He
jungle?
looks tired. Yeah, he's just kind of zoned out. He certainly doesn't seem to see you. He hasn't turned towards you or anything like that.
All
But one
right.
thing very interesting that you see now is this thing right here, and I'm just going to outline it so you can see it more easily, and so everybody can sort of see it. So, do you see this green thing right here?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
see several of those.
Yeah, so so I mentioned before that the crevices you see are where the floor, the stone flag floor of whatever this building was, has collapsed downward, and there's another floor down there that has the rubble and stuff on it. This is a bridge that somebody has built, and it's made out of like woven sticks and vines tied together and stuff like that. It's very rustic, very sort of rudimentary, but someone has built a bridge of foliage connecting those two parts.
Okay.
Okay. Arendar, give me a quick perception check if you would, please. 24. All right. So Arendar, as you're sort of looking around and this kind of stuff, you see a similar thing right here.
Yeah.
That's connecting, the base of the jungle to like the top of this dome. And you can see another one like right here.
Yeah, I noticed those things.
Yeah.
Map.
They're woven bridges. And they're made of, like I said, it's like saplings and twigs and vines and things. And
They look like they're made to hold the weight of normal human-sized people, or they look like they're made to hold the weight of small things.
well, maybe small things. I mean, I don't know, who's the biggest among you? Would it be Titus as a human? Arendar, you're not human. You're half
Half
elf,
I'm
elf.
right?
not. I'm ASMR.
You're Asimar. Okay. Oh no, maybe. Well, no, wait. Vondrum's a dwarf. Vondrum, you're probably the
Beefiest?
the beefiest among the party.
That's a
Uh,
lot. Wow, that's kind of
uh
crazy.
bunch of skinnies in this. But
I
yeah,
might be a
you're.
little heavier than you. I'm 195.
I'm
Oh,
one.
okay.
I'm 165. Yeah.
Oh, so okay. So Poe's the biggest. So yeah, Poe. They don't look sturdy enough to hold you.
So what's running around in here? Faye can fly, right?
Some Fey, not all Fey.
And elves are bigger. Elves are too big for this.
Well, elves are tall, but they're light, and everybody talks about how elves can, Legolas could walk across snow without leaving footprints and things like that. So well, but remember around here, the elves of the jungle are the Akuje, so maybe they can walk across them. Honestly, they don't
Cannibal
look
hobbits this far north?
south. You mean?
South? Yeah.
You guys are south? Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
they certainly inhabit the forest to the north. They could be down here? Yeah.
Does anybody have enough knowledge, local or lore, that would know what type of creatures build these types of bridges?
Possibly. Anybody got a knowledge and age?
I might do. Let me
Oh.
see.
You need to roll because you've been nailing it today.
Poe's got a 22. And here's where Ono finally stops rolling well. So Poe, yeah, I mean, yeah, these could probably hold up the weight of a Hobbit, or something of that size. But again, these don't look all that well made.
Hmm.
They're sort of just like cobbled together with vines and stuff. I mean, they're barely bridges of the name. They're more like these sort of rudimentary things like that are just sort of cobbled together to put things here. They look temporary, or that they would have to be replaced often. They don't look like they don't. None of these things look like they were built to be permanent here. They're just like bridges of convenience, I guess, for lack of a better term, made from local materials.
Can we talk to this guy that's tied up? Do we know what language he speaks?
No idea.
Or gagged,
he's
so.
gagged, and he hasn't noticed Wraith yet. You guys only know about this guy because Wraith has transmitted. Now, Titus, now you know about that. They found something down here because their Wraith is sending signals to you that you are transmitting to the rest of the team about that we found some sort of lizard tied to a rock,
Do
which at first
reptilian
doesn't.
creatures speak Ignan? Is that right? Ignan?
Do lizard folk speak Ignan?
What is
No, that's a rock language. That would be like an earth elemental, I think, Ignan, right? I
what
believe.
Yeah,
is
Ignan would be like an earth elemental, although they might know it.
I thought that was fire.
Here we go.
I thought it was Terran or something like that for.
Languages.
elemental plane of fire? It's fire, which makes sense.
Probably be
Oh,
Why?
Ignan is?
Yeah, that's why he would know it. What do lizard people generally speak?
I would guess.
Typically.
Draconic, something.
Well, we're way past 11. I'm sorry. So sorry, Eric. I didn't realize. I had no idea what time we had gone to. All right. So this actually is a kind of a good place to stop. So we'll stop here. Just to answer your question, lizard folk, typically jungle dwelling lizard folk, speak their own racial language, the language of lizard folk. But beyond that, most of them do not speak other languages.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, all right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right. Well,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and
Very
I
much.
will
Yeah, good times.
see
Thanks.
y'all
Thank
in
you.
2 weeks.
Hi,
Yes, sir.
guys.
Yeah.
All
2
right.
weeks.
Good night.
Awesome.
Take care.
Good night.
All right. Good night, guys.